Reallyfe Street Starz! Hold up, man! Hold up! Yeah! Man, we got them back in the building, man. You know that they loving our interactions, Yahki.
All praise, yeah. I seen a few comments. They said this the new Boosie and Black.
Yeah.
I'll bug it up, man.
Yeah. But all straight consciousness, all straight.
Definitely, nothing but consciousness and positivity.
Yes, sir. Since the last time you were here, man, the interview got such a great feedback.
Yeah.
Right. You educated everybody. People loved it. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I actually have an artist.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be here today. He actually watched the interview and started buying your supplements.
All praise.
And he lost him and his wife. Both, shout out to Ken Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had a podcast talking about it. They both look great.
That's
they
good.
both feel like I'm watching their journey, and it's literally all because of your supplements, and they actually listen to what you said and they hit them.
Yeah.
How often do you get to where you do some of these things and you actually receive the feedback of somebody getting their life changed because of the information that you gave them?
All the time. I've been doing this for 15 years. I say out of 15 years, and there's no capping, no clout chasing. Man, I say over 1,500 to 2,000 like official healing testimonies where people took the healing herbs, they took my diet, they followed the lifestyle changes, and they was diagnosed by something from the doctors. They came to see me. They applied the information, took the herbs, and changed their diet, and they come back with their new papers, and it showed that everything that they was diagnosed with, they don't have no more. So about 1,500 to 2,000 of those. Now we're going to talk about just people in the comments saying, this is what your 3 bitters did for me. This is what your geogenetic package did for me. This is how I felt once I went to H3O2 and I calmed down on water and start juicing more. This is what happened when I switched over into your plant-based ketogenic diet, man. Hundreds of thousands to millions, man, and no exaggeration. So anybody that come to me and apply the information of oneself and they go through the systems and all the knowledge that I put out, is going to change your life. In fact, I tell everybody to come see me at my facility and at my clinic, give me 21 days, I'm going to change your life. Give me 3 months and I'm going to change your world.
That's incredible. 1,500 personal testimonies. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and I'm talking about this is documented, saved up in an actual key file cabinet of them coming to see me with things that they came with. And me, I don't take the credit for healing. The only thing I take the credit for is researching the knowledge and giving you the knowledge. And then you take the credit for the healing because you taking all of this information, you applying it to oneself. And then you're changing your world, you're changing your reality, which is, in the long run, changing your biology. Then you come back from the same the doctors that diagnosed you with them same papers saying you ain't got it no more. I didn't do nothing but give you the knowledge, give you the diet. I gave you the actual circadian clock that God created. Yeah. I didn't create the schedule. God created the schedule with the sun and the moon cycle. I didn't create the diet. God created the diet by growing all these vegetation, herbs, and fruits from the ground. I didn't create the H3O2 juice. That's a structured water that God does. All you got to do is squeeze your juice. I didn't create the water. The water been here since the beginning. Only thing I did was did the hard research. And I researched these things and I just found a map and I put it all together. And that's the reason, that's really what birthed this book right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously. So that's why we call it the Bible of Health. I took what the creator did and that we forgotten, that we lost through history, through our biological evolutionary history. And I put it all down on a piece of paper, healed myself with it. Then I just gave it to the world. And through these 15 years of me doing this, I just constantly refined it. That's literally what I did.
Man, so let's talk about this book because I always love when I see my people create a book, because I always feel like coming from us, it's easier for me to digest it because I know you've been through it.
Yeah,
I see myself in you. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this book. It's called Healing the Illusions We Call Disease. That title alone is powerful. Let's start with the title. How did you land on that title?
Well, just going throughout my journey, having all of the so-called diseases that I had that I thought were real diseases at the time. And then, really, really listening to elders that came before me and then starting to apply all that knowledge to oneself. I realized I didn't have a disease at all. My body was trying to heal itself. And then it comes to find out that all of these things that we call disease is the body's natural biological detoxification pathways. Your body is trying to detox. When your body is detoxing, it's creating these symptomologies. And then these symptomologies, we have been trained for over 150 years that the symptomologies of our body healing itself is a disease. And I teach people this all the time. Like, for instance, if you cough, If you cough, you can feel something happening in your bronchial tubes where you're trying to basically projectile something out of your bronchial tubes.
Right.
You'll go to the store or to the doctor, they'll give you a cough suppressive to suppress all of that mucosa or the irritants or those toxins back into the bronchial tubes. But God made my natural biological cells do something to where something get inside my body where I cough it out. So they say coughing, sneezing, fever, high temperatures, irritated mucosal membrane, and all these things are a part of a virus, right?
Right.
But when you look at a cough is the body way of getting rid of endotoxins within inside of the bronchial tubes. If you look at a sneeze, that's getting rid of all types of microbes and basically airborne bacteria what's inside of the sinus cavities. If you look at a fever thins out the blood. Not only do it thins out the blood, it increases circulation. And it is well documented that certain bacteria and microbes cannot live in temperatures above 103 degrees Fahrenheit. So we know that our body's supposed to be at 108.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but the body will give itself an induced fever to burn out pathological entities, to thin out the blood, to increase circulation, to bring more oxygen, and to bring more phytonutrients to those areas to heal. They also say that inflammation is the beginning of all disease. But if you look at the inflammation in the body, inflammation is nothing but the localization of pathology. It's basically when the body blocks off a certain part of itself that's lacking energy to bring all of the energy, bring more blood flow, bring more oxygen, bring more amino acids, bring more phytonutrients, bring more phytochemicals to that area to help rebuild that area. So all of these symptomologies that we call in the disease, like skin rashes, again, it's your skin taking a poop. If you look at diarrhea is something inside of your bowels that don't need to be there. So your vagus nerve, which is the 10th cranial nerve of your brain, will relax itself, but you can get rid of all of that congestion that's inside of your stomach, get rid of all those toxicities that's inside of your digestive tract. Right. So whenever you look at all of these different signs and all of these different symptoms, it is your body detoxifying itself. So when I learned to lean into that and help it do its job, which is to detoxify quicker, I noticed that my symptomologies went away quicker. And then when I went back to the doctor, all of those so-called diseases that I was labeled with by the allopathic community, I didn't have them no more. So all I did from there, I said, well, let me try this on my family members. Let me try this on my community. And then boom, now I'm doing it on the world and they haven't failed yet. So this just shows me that disease is an illusion. We have been tricked that our body's natural capability of healing itself is disease, when it's not a disease at all. Only thing it is the body having symptomologies of opening up detoxification pathways.
You have a clinic, so you see things on a deeper level. When you talk about that design, how you just laid it out, it almost seems like there's no way you can't say that there was a creator that created this. It seems too perfect.
Oh, definitely.
What do you say to those who lack belief in a creator when you're looking at this as a whole?
So I can just give them small examples. The sun rises on the east at the same time every day. It sets on the west at the same time every single day. The seasons never fail to go in their seasons, ever, never. These are biological clocks of the earth inside of your body. Whether you like it or not, your body starts releasing melatonin at 9:30. Whether you like it or not. When you wake up in the rising, whether you like it or not, around 6 to 7, your body releases serotonin. So we see that we have biological circadian rhythms here on earth and in our bodies. My question is this: who set the clock? If there is no God, who set the calendar? If there is no God, who set the actual clock? Then you start looking at, things that happens on a micro scale and a macro scale, as above, so below. When we start looking at our internal bodies, it's just too complex. It have to be God. And then about 15 years ago, they started digging around in DNA and they found an actual code inside of our DNA, as if a manufacturing company stamped us before it created us. And y'all can just look this up, that your DNA actually have a written code in it in every cell of your body. Who written that code? Who do we belong to? So when you start looking at, chromosomes, and you start getting into chromophores and benzene rings and the way that we interact with the sun, biological clocks, how each cell in your body have a clock and a circadian rhythm, how the sun go up and set at the same time every single day, the seasons, the way water flow. I mean, you start looking at everything, there will have to be a creator in place. Now we got to start talking about the creator of the Matrix or the creator of the real world, because them two different creators.
Right.
And you start seeing them when you start reading in different ancient texts and stuff like that. You notice when you see the creator of the Matrix is all around death, it's around sacrifice. You got to give something up to live. But the creator of the entire universe, it's all around love, treating your brother as you treat yourself, loving thy neighbor and things like that. But the creator definitely exists. We did not create ourselves. And that's just brings me to my next point. The last time I was here, I told the young brothers and sisters that they were God. And I noticed that a lot of Christians, man, it's thousands of Christians in our comment board saying, I don't know what I'm talking about and things like that.
Right.
But the very scripture that they read says that in Psalms 82 verse 6, ye are gods, but you would die like men, you will fall like princes for your iniquity. So people say, well, that's an old passage and that's talking about fallen angels. No, that was talking about judges. That was talking about people that was over the synagogue. That was talking about Israelites that had high positions. Well, according to the biblical document, Israelites or so-called black people. So that was talking about us.
Right.
So when he said ye are gods, he was talking about black people in high position. If you look at that word in the Hebrew text, it says Elohim, which is my last name, which means power. God mean power. Then in the New Testament, book of John, chapter 10, verse 34, written in red letters, they say Jesus Christ said it himself. Isn't it written, I said ye were gods, but you want to kill me because I profess to be the son of gods. Oh, ye vipers and serpents. So that's 2 times in the biblical text that he called man God. Who was he talking to at the time? Jesus, who they called Jesus, who all called Yahshua, Hamashiach. He was actually talking to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, which was Israelites. Israelites or Hebrew Israelites were so-called black people. So for Christians to be, at my throat about that, there's nothing wrong with me saying that you're a God. I never said that you were the almighty creator. I never said that you was El Elyon. I never said that you was El Shaddai. I never said you was the creator of the heavens or the earth. I simply said ye are gods. And the reason why you are God is because God created you. You were made in this image and in his likeness. That's like me telling my son that he's not Elohim. He's my son. He got all my genetic makeup, all my genetic code. He act just like me. He have my same characteristics and he bear my last name. What do y'all think Yisrael means? One who struggled or one who was connected to a power source. That's what Israel is. So, me and the Hebrew Israelites got a very, very weird relationships, man.
Yeah.
Because man. I don't teach the same doctrine and the same dogma as them because I'm not religious.
Right.
They come from a very, very religious perspective and a religious background. Me, I study all religion. I study all ancient philosophies and all texts. And then I put it all together to get the big picture. And from that big picture and my experience here in this body, I will give y'all my perspective. So I think that's the reason why we disagree a lot, especially with the Christian church. So just for the Christian church or Christians, period, I never said that you were the almighty God, creator of the heavens and earth and of the universe. We can't be that because something created me. I am saying that I am an extension of that, made in its image and made in its likeness, which makes me a God. And for those who are scared of that, all y'all got to do is go to the Bible, look at book of John, chapter 10, verse 34, look at the book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6. It says it's right there. And if you speak and read and write Hebrew like I do fluently, you will see that it do say Elohim. So, and that's not the only time in the book of Judges too. You will see many times in the scripture where man is referred to as God in Hebrew.
Right.
Because they have taken a high position or a high authority over the people. So I don't know, man. I just think we had these complexes. And then again, when you get called God, that put the responsibility on us.
Right.
And I just noticed that the black church, not even just the black church, man, a lot of people that's in religion, they like to blame God or leave everything on and blame the devil and that leave their hands, not dirty. So they can just have all these diseases or they can be weak in the faith or weak in the flesh. And they don't have to have a responsibility to renew themselves and to do the work to make themselves feel better. So if they call themselves a God, that means this is your own problem and you got to fix it. And the black community hate fixing its own problems.
Man, we gonna get into that, but I don't want to veer away from the book just yet.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I have is like, how long? Because that's a really thick book.
Yeah, it's 820 pages, man.
Yeah, that's a thick book.
820 pages, man. Healing the illusion we call disease, the Bible of health. 820 pages. It took me 6 years altogether to get this book completely done. 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part?
The hardest part was throughout the 6 years, I have a very open-ended consciousness and I learn and I absorb knowledge like no other. So I noticed that, and this truth, I just got to say one thing about truth. Truth is absolute, but truth is forever changing. The true definition of me about writing this book, this is what I learned truth was. What is absolutely accurate to the very present now. And what I mean by that is truth is what is actually accurate to the present now, meaning up to this very moment, the most accurate I can be about a specific topic is truth. But tomorrow, I could be intercepted with new information that will either add to or change the trajectory of the truth that I'm in. So this just shows you that truth is forever evolving, truth is forever growing, and truth is forever changing. So when I was writing this book of truth, as I was talking about sales and I was talking about certain things, as I talked about last time, I noticed a lot of the information was being upgraded as I was writing the book. So I had to keep rewriting certain chapters. I had to go back and revise certain chapters. So 4 years in, my book was done. But for the last 2 years, I had another rebirth and another conscious update, to my consciousness. So I had to go back and literally bring a lot of information up to its current position. But in 10 years, this book gonna have to be revised about 5 times. That's why you see people constantly revising their books, because information and knowledge change as our consciousness grow and expand in this reality.
And I like that, because it tells me that you're not so arrogant that you're not going to learn and update it, right? And this is also not a money grab, right? Because money grab would have been 4 years ago, you would have published it, and it just is what it is. Can you give me the top 3 things that you had to revise after you learned more information?
For the first thing, I used to teach an all fruitarian diet to everybody. Go on fruits, go on fruits, go on fruits, go on fruits. But through people coming into the facility, people coming into the clinic, we noticed if you put them on an all fruit diet and they had fatty liver disease, it would drive their ALT and their AST levels up. These are liver enzymes. So it started the all fruit diet with fatty liver. When you already got fatty liver, it would drive your fatty liver up more, and it would start messing with your actual liver enzymes, right? But people that didn't have any liver issues, it'll heal them very quickly. So I had to start changing my diet specifically to each individual that came in due to your vitals, due to us doing iridologies, due to us doing blood analysis. When I check everything out based off of where you currently at, the diet might be different for you. You might not need a fruitarian diet. You might need a plant-based ketogenic diet, which is high in plant fats and high in plant cellulose, but is low in carbohydrates. That way I won't drive your fatty liver issue. Right. But if you come to me and you don't have fatty liver issues, then I could put you on an all fruit diet and your healing speeds up super, super fast. So that's one of the things I had to change in the book, because I used to push a straight fruitarian lifestyle until I started coming across clinical trials and data of me doing my own experiments and me handing out these diets to the masses. And I'm like, hold on, this is the 20th person when they go on an all fruit diet with already fatty liver, that it throws off their ALT and AST enzymes. And then you take them off the fruit diet and you put on a high ketogenic plant-based diet, which means you still on, I hate to say the word vegan, but I'm gonna use it for this segment. You still keep them on a vegan diet, but you keep them on a high fat vegan diet, right? Which is avocados, nuts, seeds, certain grains, and a bunch of dark leafy greens. They will heal and their enzymes will go down. So at that point, you got to ask yourself a question. Do I keep spitting the same ridicule, even though I'm seeing this inside of my own facility? Or do I change it and because the data is changing, then update the information? And that's what I did. So that's one of them. And there's plenty of more, man. There's plenty of more, but that's one of them. And that's the beautiful part about being hands-on with your work and having facilities and going and traveling the world and getting this data back for yourself. You know what to change, when to change. And that's why I always tell people it's an art to healing. Everybody have a unique biological fingerprint. So everybody will have to be treated different. Everybody will have to have a diet that's kind of different. Everybody have to have herbs different. You might have a allergy to nuts.
Right.
I can't give you certain herbs. So you can't get the 3 bitters. Or I got to make a 3 bitters specifically just for you. You might have an allergy to certain plants. All your plants can't be the same. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You might have cancer in this area and a tumor. If you got tumor in this area and I give you chaparral, and I know chaparral increases blood flow, I kind of don't want to increase blood flow to that tumor. Say if you have an aneurysm Oh, you got a blocked artery. I can't put you on a lymphatic bed and shake up your veins and shake up your arteries because I can unclog that plug and then it'll go to your heart and clog up your heart and you drop dead of cardiac arrest. So there's many different steps and many different phases to healing. It's an art to healing. And if you don't truly know physics, biochemistry, and you don't know anatomy and physiology, then it's kind of hard to really get there.
So there's people in the chat asking, how much does this book cost? Where can they get this book?
You can get this book off www.yahkiawakened.com, YAHKIAWAKENED.com. It's $150. And it's $150 because this is my life curriculum. It's 820 pages of nothing but scientific facts and greatness, y'all. But it's $150. You cannot buy it off any other platform. If there's anybody selling a book and it's not from that website that I just gave you, I promise you it is a lie. We had somebody go in there and try to buy 100 books. We told them no, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to bootleg my book and resell it. So
how much do you deal with that? Because, you know, it's so funny. I saw an Instagram clip of you saying that the AI companies have been using you to sell their products.
Yeah.
So how much do you deal with people doing that to you?
Man, we pay $34,000 a month. $34,000 a month just on the attorney to go through and shut these companies down. $34,000 a month, man. And they just went up because now they're using Facebook websites and the websites is a different price. So, you know, I'm to the point where I'm just finna do what they doing, just do it to myself. I'm gonna make my own videos.
Right.
I'm gonna make my own, I'm gonna bootleg myself, man, and just put it out there. But I would never, ever, ever sell anybody's products. I have my own manufacturing company, a 27,000 square feet warehouse. I have over 22 employees. We make our own herbs. We make our own supplements. Why would I sell and endorse somebody else's supplement when I make my own? We source our own herbs. We source our own herbs in Jamaica. We source our own herbs in West Africa, and then we bring them back here. We dry them. We capsule them up. We make tinctures. We do all this stuff ourselves. I will never, ever, ever, ever put my face on another person's product and sell their product because I don't even know these companies and I believe in my product so much and I know how much it takes for me to find wildcraft, organic stuff, and then have to take it through the labeling process, spend tens of thousands of dollars to actually put certified organic on the packaging and then push it out there to the masses. So I know that they ain't doing it. They lying to people, man. And then the crazy part is the people will get scammed and then find the real me to complain about it. Why couldn't you find the real me when you was trying to find a product? I do not get that, man. I do not understand. I spent $1,500 on a consultation and I never got a consultation. I bought Shilajit. I don't sell Shilajit. I bought Potency. I don't sell the Potency wood. I don't sell. All my stuff says YahkiAwakened.com. It's from one website. It's not from multiple sites. So, you know, I know the people, they be very, very desperate because they're trying to get healing and they willing to do anything, but don't be so desperate to the point where your spiritual discernment fall and you just fall for anything, man. Y'all look at that. My lips ain't in sync with the words. They changing my eyes on it. It's a bunch of stuff. You can look and tell that that's AI driven. So if it's not from my website or if it don't lead you back to my website, it ain't me. I don't do Cash App. I don't do MoneyGram. I don't do Zelle. I don't do none of that. The only thing I do is conduct business through YahkiAwakened.com. That's it. I don't sell nothing on any other platform for that reason.
That's insane. So has the bootlegging and the AI, have you received negative feedback? Do they actually think it's you?
Yeah, man. Oh, no, man. You can ask not be, man. We done had so many bad Google reviews and BBBs off of fake stuff. We got a lot of them took down, but a lot of them still stick, man, where our Google reviews and our BBB look bad, and then you go and you look for the tracking number and it don't even exist, or you look for the order number and it was never us in the first place. So yeah, and I think a lot of that is to mess with my credibility as a herbalist, as who they call a healer or whatever y'all want to call me. But yeah, of course. And I think a lot of this is CIA operation or FBI operations anyway, to be honest with you. I think a lot of these companies are made by the government to just make me look bad because I do got so much traction in the world right now.
Right. Man, that's tough, man. I know last time you had just got your social media back.
Yeah.
Now that you have your social media back, is it as potent? Are you able to get the voice out?
Definitely. And then, you know, I got my own radio station. We do our own thing. That's been popping off for y'all. We getting a lot of people on there. I'm tired of listening to the same songs. We had to move into the school, y'all. I got my radio station completely put up. Download the app, Yahki Radio. You can get it off of Android. You can get off of, or you can get it off your Apple phone. Download it and then just put music request in. As long as it's positive, we'll put it in spins. If you got ASCAP and BMI, it will pay you. So submit your music, download the app, and I'll play y'all stuff. And then we finna start going live twice a week on there. We got Yahki TV. Yahki TV is like our own YouTube. It's our own database. We got our own servers. You can't knock us down, can't take us down, none of that. So go on that website, y'all. If you download the Yahki Radio app, my whole entire network is there, from the radio station, from the podcasting, from the Yahki TV, from the herbal store, even Yahki Apparel is all on that app, Yahki Radio. And that's ours, by us, for us, built by us, man.
Now, one of the things from last time, right, is a lot of people were just commenting on your appearance. Man, he looks different. He looks good. Man, he got his teeth done. Man, is he on Ozempic? Like, they were just throwing out all different type of accusations. Yeah. So let's address them one by one. Let's start with the veneers. Okay,
these are not veneers. I paid $143,000 for these things. What happened was I had my jaw shattered when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
In a gang fight. As I had my jaw shattered, I had to get this replaced with metal. They put titanium and nickel on this side of my jawline, right here. Well, and I had to get my mouth wired shut for 4 months. As my mouth was wired shut for 4 months, right? As my mouth was wired shut for 4 months, on the 6th month, I got my jaw broken this side because I got into another fight while my jaw was broken, and I got hit with some brass knuckles. So they had to put metal on this side. Well, what happened was about 2 years ago now? About going on 2 years ago, I ended up developing what you would call a liver cyst. And the liver cyst came from nickel toxicity. Couldn't nobody find out where the nickel toxicity and the titanium toxicity or the heavy metal toxicity was coming from because I had a very clean body.
Right.
So it comes to find out that I was leaking nickel and titanium from the metal that they put in my body when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
So I ended up going to one of the best dentists. It's a biological dentist in Fort Lauderdale, Dr. Centrine.
Okay.
And she's amazing, man. When I say I feel like I know a lot of stuff about biochemistry, anatomy, when I say a woman never taught me so much about my mouth, and I thought I knew a lot about mouth, but sitting down with her, she just really ran game. I said, dang, I need to stick with you for a minute. So they basically devised a plan to take out all of my teeth at the bottom, replace the bone, replace that metal with human bone, which they did.
Yeah.
Man, went through a crazy process. I actually cried because they told me that I was going to have to get a lot of these teeth taken out and get implants put in. So I had to get a bunch of zirconium and biologic. They took my DNA, they put my DNA in a centrifuge, and then they mashed it up and they found biological material to build all this stuff with. That's why it cost $143,000. No insurance, cash, y'all. No insurance. Man. So I had 12 surgeries, man. 12 surgeries, and it went for a year straight. I went to Florida for a year straight, probably every other week, and it was all because of pain. It was nothing pleasuring, no beaches, no getting up, no relaxing, none of that. It was all pain, man. And then, mind you, they had to put me to sleep every time. I don't take medicine, but they had to put me to sleep to take them. So, man, I was going through a lot, man. And a lot of people didn't know about it because I just felt like it wasn't nobody's business.
Right.
But what happened was, when they replaced this is how my jaw structure really look. If you look at anything of me from 15 all the way until about 18, this is how my face look.
Right.
Everything else y'all see after that is inflammation from me eating bad vegan food and all of that. So I end up changing my life around again for the second time, healing myself again for the second time, dropping all that weight, getting in the gym, and then I had those surgeries. So now I just look like how I used to look when I was younger. It ain't that I look different. Y'all just used to talking to inflamed Yahki. Yahki is no longer inflamed, and now y'all see my facial structure because I had all that metal taken out and all that inflammation left, and I fixed my liver. That's all it is, but I've never did Ozempic in my life. I don't do drugs. Like I said, I actually cried like a baby when they had to put me to sleep. Right. In fact, man, I was scared because I be thinking these entities be at me. I'm like, man, they trying to put me to sleep, take me out.
Yeah.
Am I lying, Nabi? Nabi, I had Nabi used to have to pray for me before they put me under. I had the dentist and them pray. No, we gonna do a prayer before y'all put me under.
Yeah, we not finna play with me.
Because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm sleep, man, and then I know that I'm fighting a real spiritual warfare. It's not really the physical. I worry about the wickedness in high places, the princes of darkness that I'm fighting this battle against. I understand the electrical magnetic grid, the matrix, and how this grid got to come down. So, getting put to sleep did something to me, and then I had to put them drugs in me to put me to sleep, which did something for me. I had just did a video probably 2 months before my first surgery that you should never get veneers. So I'm thinking about that too. Like, damn, they gonna think these veneers when they not. I spent way more, but these ain't veneers. These are biological materials that they put together. Dang, they gonna say something about my implants. They don't know that I went the extra mile to make sure it was the right implants for my body and for my own physiology. So, but you got to do what you got to do. I wasn't finna be walking around here toothless, and my whole job is to speak for a living. So I had my mouth done. I had reconstructive surgery on my jaw. They pulled out all that metal. They put in human bone. They put in zirconia. They put in other biological material that matches my DNA that my body won't reject. But look, let me tell you this. Through all of that, right, my body still rejected one of them. Am I lying? I just had to get this pulled. How long ago? Yell if they can hear you.
About 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Like 2.5
2.5 weeks ago, I just had to fly down there to get this back one taken out because my body rejected it. And we went through all that DNA testing to find materials that match up with my DNA, and my body still rejected one of them. So, man, it's hit and miss with this stuff, man, to be honest with you. But you got to do what you got to do. I'm not an extremist. Right. If I get shot right now, take me to the doctor. I'm not going to say, hey, go get some burdock root, brother. No, take me to surgery ASAP. And that's the same thing that was going on with my mouth. I was developing a liver cyst. That cyst was going to eventually become a tumor. And once I found the source myself, can nobody find it for me? I said, it got to be my mouth. I'm like, mama, I bet you it's this metal in my mouth. I went there and for shit show, that's what it was, man. So I got it taken out, and I got human bone in me. And now I'm living with that regret because I had to change to still keep talking to y'all, but I got another man's bone in my face. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I didn't want him to take a bone from my leg, so I got another man's bone in my face. So I notice there's certain things that you have to sacrifice in order to do what you're doing. And I'm not saying that in the sacrificial lamb part of the way where you got to, sell your soul or nothing. Right. But there is certain things that goes against who you are, what you think you are, for you to keep going in this world. And that's what I chose to sacrifice. I got another man's jawbone and another man's bone in my jaw, man. And all my teeth on this side or implants, I still got a lot of them up top is still real, but it's the bottom part because both of my bottom sides were shattered. This one was fractured. This one was shattered.
Right. But don't you find like just the fact that people threw those hateful comments when you came back and you looked your best self. Yeah. Right. That's weird to me. Like, it's like, okay, who cares if I have veneers? I look good in them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, but it's for one, with me, I look at it like this. When you put yourself out there, you can't get mad at people judging you.
That's true.
If you tell somebody your thoughts, your perspective, and your opinion, you are opening yourself up for criticism. Yeah. Right? That's the other thing. And then two, people are so miserable and they live off of negativity because that's how the grid was structured and created. And a lot of them are not educated anyway. So when they see things that they don't understand, or if they don't have all because we are very gossiping people. Yeah. If they don't have a question or something, then the first thing they do is they judge it. And our people are we're moved by negativity. So, man, when I say like water off a duck's back, I don't give a damn. I get talked about all the time, man. My face is in front of millions of people every day. I can care less about what anybody think about Dr. Yokai, Raphael Elohim, or Yahki Awakened. Yeah. I know who I am. I know where I was, when I was, why I am, who I am, where I am. I know exactly who I am. And since I know that, can't nobody tell me who I'm going to be. Nobody. So I'm cool with it. I was built for this stuff, man. Before that, I was in the streets, and I was in the streets going at who we call the hardest niggas in the streets. So now I'm in this industry going at one of the biggest industries that exist at all times. So this is just my spirit, man. I was sent here to disrupt. I was sent here to save. I was sent here to turn on people's consciousness, wake them up from the matrix and let them know, hey, we all Neos. We sleep up in here. This is what this world really look like. So of course, somebody that sleep, chewing on their steak and potatoes in their dream world, you wake them up to this ugly real world. They're gonna be like, man, why the hell did you wake me up? Put me back to sleep. Put me back. I want that. And that be them people in the comments, the ones that just want to stay asleep, man. Yeah. So it's all good. I don't care.
Now, let me ask you this: what about like a woman who gets her body done? Uh-huh. What do you think about that? I mean, because in that scenario, she might feel like I'm not pretty enough, or I might need to get the veneers because my teeth ain't right. Uh-huh. What do you think? What do you say for people that do that? Like,
I'm against a woman getting her body done. I'm against a person getting veneers if you don't have to. Right. I had something called the tooth and gum restoration, healed every cavity in my mouth. My issue wasn't a cavity issue. Right. My issue was a bone structure issue with heavy metal toxicity. Yeah. Something totally different. You want your booty bigger, do some sumo squats. Do some squats. Build your buns, build your butt. You want your breast bigger, tighten up your thyroid, increase prolactin, go after the pituitary gland. So I'm against stuff like that. But again, it's your body, it's your entity. You do what you want to do. But I noticed that it's better if you build your body than to take the shortcut. This wasn't a shortcut for me. It wasn't no other way for me. Yeah, it was no other way. It was life or death. It wasn't no other way for me to rebuild my bone. I either had to take the metal out or go out from a liver disease, because that's what it was going to lead to.
Right.
So, but I'm against that. Veneers. I'm against veneers till this very day. Again, these are not veneers, but I'm against veneers because I have something called the tooth and gum restoration powder. I will give y'all the ingredients. White oak bark powder mixed with myrrh powder. You see what I'm saying? Mixed with baking soda, mixed with activated charcoal.
Yeah. All
of these things mixed together actually will help remineralize and build back up your teeth. You can literally brush your cavities out. I did it to every last tooth inside my mouth. I heal all of my cavities with my tooth and gum restoration powder. It heals the gums and it heals the actual teeth of caries, of cavitations, all of that. But again, poor hygiene was my issue. It was a structural issue, and it was a liver issue from heavy metal toxicity from the titanium and nickel that I had inside of my jawline. And so I think anything artificial should be last resort, because that's what's happening to this grid and to this matrix. We're living in an artificial world. We're eating artificial food. We're drinking artificial liquids. We're addicted to artificial beauty. You see what I'm saying? We into artificial intelligence. We are stimulated by artificial light, artificial sexuality. Think about everything we doing is artificial when God created everything natural. So if you look how the grid switched, we went from this natural grid over into this electromagnetic grid that's very, very artificial. So the moment something real come back in, we automatically blame it and point fingers at it like it's out of pocket, when this new world is the one that's really out of pocket.
Yeah.
I seen people, brothers are now getting abs now. They're getting their abs done. They're getting abs now. BBL abs.
Yes, sir.
When you can just go in the gym, go on a caloric deficit, do some hard, heavy training, weight ab workouts in 3 to 6 months, you have a physique like no other, but we want to take the shortcut. How many people using microwaves inside their household because conveniency, but conveniency is killing us. You want your food done in 3 minutes. You put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, it rings, and then you eat it. You don't know, you just radiated the hell out of your food. All of this stuff is a part of the grid, and that's the reason why the grid must go down. It got to go down. I dream about it all the time. I be talking to Nabi all the time. Like, man, I keep having these dreams and these prophecies of this grid collapsing. And when the true grid collapse, we're not worried about name brand clothes. We ain't worried about keeping up with the Joneses. We ain't worried about do your purse match his purse. We ain't worried about how good your shoes look, how good your tuxedo look, how good your outfit look. We ain't worried about no BBLs. We ain't worried about none of that. Because when the grid fall, none of that is going to matter. It's a movie series I was watching. It's called C. And C is based off of everybody being blind. What happened was, man, a virus that came and wiped out people. It killed like the third of the world. And then the rest of people that was reborn couldn't see. And it showed how they lived life so differently than the ones that did see. So at that point, beauty was not based off of your eye sense. Beauty was based off of how the person talked to you. Beauty was based off the characteristics of the person. Beauty was based off, did the person keep their word or not? Beauty was based off, was they gentle with you or not? Beauty was based off of scents and aroma. Beauty was based off of everything but looking at a woman and looking at a man. You couldn't tell if he was tall, dark, and handsome. You couldn't see. You couldn't tell if she had a fat ass or some plump breasts. You couldn't see none of that. So when we start taking away certain senses and we go through these sensory deprivations or these reawakenings, you will start seeing what really matter. And man, all this stuff is based off the matrix, and that's why the grid must fall, man.
Let me ask you this. Right. I remember as a kid reading Revelation, and it shook me. Right. Question: do you believe that Jesus is coming back? Right, because that's one of the big themes. Right. You have to get through heaven through Jesus. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I believe heaven is a state of mind.
Right.
And this is another thing that when we're talking about the Bible, we talk about Christianity, we talk about the Hebrews, the Torah, Tanakh, we start talking about the Quran. I believe that all of them have bits and pieces of a puzzle that if you put it all together, you can really see.
Right.
I believe that we're in hell right now. Artificial grid, the artificial intelligence being in the matrix. So in Hebrew, we call it Rakim. I think this is hell. And I think hell is being stuck in your lower root chakra. And I think heaven or the journey to heaven is going through these spiritual systems, or what they call the 7 glandular highways, or they call the 7 chakras, and then making it up to the Keter, or what they call the Christ consciousness.
Right.
I think Christ, Jesus Christ, or who they call Christ, is a conscious state. Now, do I believe in Yahshua ben Yosef? Yes, I believe that he walked and he exists. There's too many documents showing that he did. And once 1,000 people write about you, they had to see something.
Right.
Right. But do I believe that Jesus coming back to save me? Hell no. I believe that in the book, it tells you you truly must save yourself. They was looking for the kingdom of Yah, right? And Christ Yahushua, or I say the Messiah, was with them. And he told them the kingdom of God do not come by observing the heavens. It don't come by you looking up. He said, for the kingdom of God is in the midst of you. For the kingdom of God is amongst you. The kingdom of God is inside you. So I think the only way to be saved is by saving yourself. And I believe that who they call Jesus Christ, or I call Yahshua, laid out the blueprint and the foundation for us to follow these things to save ourselves. So no, I don't think there's going to be somebody that cracked the sky and come save us, because we have been through the worst. We have been at the lowest of the lowest of the lowest points. I mean, like everything, if you just look at all the monstrosities that have happened to our people for thousands and thousands of years, I think we missing the point. I think that the kingdom of God is within the midst of us. I believe that we are the Christ. We are the book of life. That's the reason why you have a spine like a book have a spine. That's the reason why you have seals like the book have a seal. We are the book. And then your DNA is the written verses, or what you would call the codex, and the chromosomes, right? You realize one chromosome inside your body holds trillions of data of information. So we are the book. And I just believe, based off the content in your chromosomes, you either living in the book of life or you living in the book of the dead. So I think that we are God. I think that we are Messiah experiencing itself. And I think that the only way to save us off this rock is by saving ourselves. And I think that the Bible is a journey and a pathway to doing so. But I think that we have missed, we make everything such a mythological nature, and we take everything so literally that we miss the actual figuratively things that the Bible is saying. It's a codex, so we must decode it. Like, for instance, when it talks about Jesus and the 12 disciples, this can be talking about your pineal gland and the 12 cranial nerves, or the 12 melanin clusters that's in your brain. When it talks about how Christ was crucified at 33, that's what happened when this Christos, or the oil, raised to the 33-degree vertebrae, the ganglion nerve, and then resurrected itself inside of something called the skull. In the Hebrew, it's called the Golgotha, where Christ was crucified at. And it talks about his journey from when he came all the way from Nazareth, all the way to the Calvary where he was killed at. That's talking about coming from the root chakra, what you would call your actual testicles or your ovaries, and going all the way up into your hypothalamus gland. So it depends on which way you want to come from. A lot of this stuff is figuratively speaking. And then, for instance, why is the Son of God, S-O-N, closely associated with the Son of God, S-U-N? Then you talk about the 12 disciples, but then you have 12 houses in the zodiac.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Then you start really looking at the 12 disciples and their characteristics. You can literally line them up with the characteristics of the 12 zodiacs. Then they start talking about the Holy Bible, and then you get Helios Biblios, which means sun book. So we can go literally, figuratively, mystical. We can go anywhere with it, and we all talk about the same thing, but don't miss the message. The message is to cross over from your animalistic nature into your high spiritual consciousness. No matter if we're talking about Muslim, no matter if we're talking about Christianity, no matter if we're talking about Ibrit, or what I call Hebrew, no matter what spiritual system we're talking about, it's all talking about the same thing. Killing your animalistic self, and then resurrecting or rebirthing yourself in this new high conscious wave and fashion, and getting rid of the grid. The Messiah, or who y'all call Jesus, came to expose the matrix. It was a political assassination on him, so they murdered him. The government, the Israel government, or in the Bible at the time, who they call the Sanhedrin and all of them, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, killed him under Rome. It was a political hit, a political assassination, no different than what happened to Martin Luther King, no different than happened to Malcolm X, no different than happened to Huey P. Newton, all of the messiahs that have came and tried to save their people. So if you ask me, do I believe in Jesus? No, I don't believe in Jesus, but do I believe in who we call the Messiah, or who they call Yahshua? Yes, I do.
What's the difference?
Well, Jesus come from Caesar Borgia. That is Leonardo da Vinci, drew a picture of him. And when you start looking at Caesar Borgia, this was actually a murderous homosexual, man. And I'm not sitting here judging homosexuals or knocking homosexuals, but the Bible strictly speaks against it. But then we got a person being depicted as Jesus, which is blue-eyed and blonde hair. But when you look at the actual depiction of who they call Jesus in the book of Revelations, chapter 1, I believe, verses 14 on down, it says that his hair was woolly. Like a sheep. He had kinky naps. It said that his eyes were red as like they burned a fire. It also talked about his skin being brass. But brass is not only brown, but as if it burnt in a furnace. He was a dark brown skinned brother. So when you start looking at him and his characteristics and how he acts, especially how he acted against the Sanhedrin, he was a very, very revolutionary brother. It don't depict a blind, long-haired, blue-eyed white boy. It don't. It don't at all. So even when you start talking about the depiction of from a biblical standpoint, white people didn't even exist back then. I was
going to ask you about that, right? Because if we take it to the Genesis, right?
Yeah.
You can't get dark from white, right?
No, but you definitely can get white from dark. So even when you go back that far, all the way back, and if anybody do believe in the story of Abraham, of Isaac and of Jacob, or Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, you start going and you start following the children of Ham. Ham was black, so-called black, right? Abraham, black, so-called black. Japheth, black, so-called black. So all these, even the Edomites, they say Edom is white. No, so black. At that particular time, there wasn't any race called a white race or a pale-skinned people or person. You start seeing that due to certain genetic mutations through the biological evolutionary history of humans, where you see them pop up. And then they pop up out of the ice season, out of nowhere, out of caves. So we don't even know the story. And there's so many different stories around their creation. We don't even really know where they came from. And I'm not knocking white people. I got a bunch of white people that I actually dialogue with. That's colleagues of mine. We go over science literature together, papers and all types of stuff. But when you look at their history, they don't know where they came from, and we don't really know where they came from. We just know that they here. So it's like they were planted here. So and I'm saying all this to say this. So around those times, we see that the Roman Empire and all of them, and a lot of them Romans was a brown skin too. Right. A lot of them Romans was a brown skin color. So, it's a period where you don't see any of them existing. So how are we putting you go on the TVs, you start looking at Kemet, you start looking at Egypt, you start seeing them as a bunch of them portraying to be us in ancient Egypt and ancient Mesopotamia, everywhere. It's like they just ripped themselves in our history. Same thing they did in America. And with the $5 Indian idea, the indigenous people of America look just like me and you. I'm from Choctaw Nation, deep. We've been here thousands of years. My family, I traced them all the way. We helped build the Mississippian Mounds. I'm from St. Louis. I stayed 20 minutes away from the Cahokia Mississippian Mounds, where the pyramids are at. My family helped contribute that. We started in Louisiana and we traveled the Mississippi River all the way to Cahokia, Illinois, and Missouri. That's all my people. I got the history, the documentations, the authentication, all of it. So it's like, well, how y'all saying that everybody come from over in this certain region? Black people seeded every place of this earth since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, there is no place on earth where our soles of our feet haven't touched the ground. Then all of a sudden you see about 10,000 years later, another people pop up out of nowhere. Do I know the origins? I got a bunch of ideas, but I'm not for sure, so I ain't gonna even
speak on it. Okay, but let me ask you this, right? Because it's just real complicated when it comes to information, right?
But your question was this.
Yeah.
You was asking me the difference between Jesus and Yahshua.
Yahshua.
Yahshua was from the ghettos of Nazareth. Yahshua was a woolly haired, locked when he was a boy, black melanated being, right? He was an Israelite. Yahshua traveled the world. When he became the ages of 12, he traveled to Mizraim, or what we call Kemet, Egypt. He went to India. He went and learned Buddhist teachings, all of it. That's why if you read in the New Testament, when he was talking, he actually recites a lot of Buddhist teachings. Like love your brother as you love yourself is a Buddha teaching. When you talk about your field being a mind and your thoughts being a seed, that's actually a Buddhist teaching. So you can literally, if you look at Christ's writings, you can actually tell what type of mind frame he was in when he was writing certain specific things. You're like, okay, he must have learned that when he was in Egypt under the high priest. He must have learned that when he was in India learning the scrolls of Buddha. He must have learned that, learned this, and you'll start seeing it. So he traveled and then he gained all this knowledge. Then he came back to save his people, which was Israel. That's why he said that he was only sent to the lost sheep of who? Israel. So he was sent to save his people. All right. So when you get into Jesus, the Christ, right? This is talking about Caesar Borgia. This is talking about a Caucasian man. This is talking about a Caucasian man that was into the same sex. He was murderous. He did everything that went against the 10 Commandments. And then now we done put this picture and whitewash the black Yahshua and put the name Jesus on it, which come from Jesus. If you do a deep etymology reading of the word, it's coming from Jesus, which come from Zeus, the Greek god. That's where his name come from. And it don't even match up to Yeshua. You know what I'm saying? So, and then even the meanings are different. So instead of saying Jesus the Christ, we say Hamashiach Yahshua. So them are two totally different beings. They have two total different messages. Like Jesus the Christ will say, turn the other cheek. You can let somebody mess you around, do you over, and you got to turn the other cheek because God don't want you to commit violence. Yahshua Mashiach, this is the same black brother that was in the temple of God, whooping Negroes with extension cords and flipping over the money tables because they were selling and exchanging of goods inside the temple. And he said, hey, man, y'all ain't finna turn out God's home. You know what I'm saying? No, not the tax collector. He in there whooping, but he taught preparation. He taught survival tactics. He taught how to protect yourself. And they said that he was a hard man. He was such a hard man that only Peter and certain other brothers really spoke with him because he was such straight to the point and such a hard man. These are two different characteristics. These are two different people, two different genealogies of people. They look completely different, but yet and still we all talking about the same person. No, I'm not buying it, man. So that's the difference. One is a Caucasian passive man that broke commandments. The other one is a black revolutionary melanated being that knew where he was from and came to save his people and was politically assassinated for it.
So for you, what is the Hebrew teaching versus, let's say, Muslim and Christian? Because those are the main two that what are the differences?
If you look at all of them, they all Abrahamic religions or Abrahamic thoughts, should I say. Gotcha. Hebrew is not a religion. Hebrew is a way of life. Hebrew is a way of thinking. That's why I was trying to explain to the Hebrews last time. The ones that's on the post, them are the religious Hebrews, which I love y'all. Y'all my brothers, you know what I'm saying? I can identify with anybody as anything. I can sit down and talk with a Muslim about what they need to talk about. We can go through the Quran together. I make it make sense from my standpoint. I can sit down with a Christian. We can talk about Christian. I can sit down with somebody that's into the zodiac signs. I can relate that to the Bible. I can sit down with another Hebrew. We can speak in pure Hebrew. I do it all. Because I realize that I'm not limited to a religion. If you limited to a religion, then you are in a box, you're in a prison, and you will never be able to grow or save a soul truly. Because if you do save a soul, you're just bringing them into another grid. You're bringing them to another mental prison. So the difference between the actual teachings between me and the other Hebrews, I take it more as figuratively, more as a mystical application. Hebrew, again, means abari, which means to cross over. I'm crossing over from my sinful animalistic nature, from violating the natural laws of the creation, which the creator put in place. And I start following those laws again. And then from that, I get everlasting life and physical immortality, right? Which means I live a happier life. My quality of life raises and my quantity of life even is extended. They take it as a literal thing. So they literally take it as a literal lineage. They take it as a literal everything. And you just gonna come into a lot of problems and a lot of questions that can't be answered when you do that. I've been doing it. I did that for 10 years. I had my own camp and everything, man. I taught at my own camp. We did Passover. We did all of that. Like, so for those that act like I just popped up on a blue somewhere, no, I didn't. I've been doing the Hebrew thing for a minute, man. For all my life, I've been knowing who I was. I've been taught that I was a Hebrew all my life. I had a congregation where it was thousands of us. I taught every Shabbat day. You know what I'm saying? I had elders, me and my big brother Malachi, we learned the Hebrew. We learned to speak it fluently, talk it, read it, write it, all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? For a person to say, well, he don't know what he's talking about, that just means you haven't reached that level of understanding yet. Because I used to be exactly where you was at now. And I noticed that is way better if you apply it in a more of a spiritual mythological system than trying to take it literally. Because if you try to take it literally, then you're going to find yourself doing some crazy stuff. Yeah. I know brothers right now for Passover, they will kill a lamb. They will skin the lamb. They will drain the lamb of all its blood, and they will eat every organ of the lamb, everything. Because they say that's what they did for Passover. Well, to me, that sounds like sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between that and a ritual sacrifice in black magic? What about Urim and Thummim, where they used to roll dice, and then that was the will of the manifestation of God. So, you start looking at a lot of this stuff. If you do it literally, it goes against one nature. But if you apply it spiritually, or if you use it as more of a mystical system, it can raise and elevate you to a higher conscience. So I think that's the difference between me and Nate teachings. And then a lot of them, they on the street corners, they be very disrespectful to the women. They calling them out their name. They make people kiss their boots and lick their feet and all types of stuff like that. And that's just not where I'm coming from. Everybody got their own thought. I'm not sitting here judging nobody, but that's not the way I was taught. And that's not the way I'm going to teach anybody else I'm bringing into the fold. We are people of light. We're people of love. We're people of healing. And we don't associate this with hate. So that's why I think I get a lot of hate from them. It just shows you how a lot of them just hold hatred in their heart. But look, it's nothing but love, brothers. We can talk and build anytime. I'm just not that type of Hebrew. And for those that think that it's just me by myself, no, there is thousands of us that thinks the same exact way as me. So it's not me as Yahki being this lonely Hebrew wolf that's in the corner, and I'm the only one speaking this rhetoric or this nonsense. There's thousands of us that think this same way.
Do you feel like spirituality and the way we eat and healing is all connected?
Definitely. And I think it goes before even your food. And that's another thing that I get into in the book, because I used to push food so bad. Food. But we don't realize that the first food that we eat is our conversations. We don't realize that the first food that we digest and eat is our thought process. We don't realize that the first food we physically eat is the sun. So a lot of us is food deficient because you eating healthy, as you eating the most beautiful, best plant-filled, chlorophyll-packed, nutrient-dense diet, but you got hate in your heart, right? Hate in your heart brings on epinephrine and norepinephrine. That damage the liver. That's why most people with hatred and grief die of liver disease or liver symptomologies, because your liver is blocked and it can't unpack itself. You see a lot of people with diabetes. That's the lack of love for oneself inside the community. That's why you have that infatuation or that association with sugar. And you emotionally eat all the time, which drive your sugar up, which kills the pancreas and Langerhans inside of the pancreas, which produces beta cells that produce insulin. So it makes you very, very sugar sensitive and insulin resistant, all because of emotion. So yeah, your environment, spirituality, and I want to show y'all this too. All of the high spiritual monks were vegan. All of the high spiritual Indians were vegan. They all talked about how when they went away from meat, that's when they was really able to open up their consciousness, because the meat and the blood spilling and the spiritual significance, the biological impressions and the high cortisol and the stress hormones from the meat that they was killing and eating kept their body bound to their nervous system. A lot of them couldn't even astral project because they were so grounded into their body because of all of that spiritual chromatic energy coming from killing the meat. So yeah, diet have a very, very, very significant impact on spirituality. And then you got to think about it. When you eat things, you become it. And that's why I talk about angry birds a lot. And people eating all of this angry chicken. And you see people inside of Popeyes killing each other over $1 chicken sandwich. You can Google it. People died over that when they did them $1 chicken sandwich at Popeyes and Church's Chicken.
Yeah.
Negroes was killing each other over chicken.
Over chicken, bro.
I've never seen somebody kill each other over salad. I was just saying.
But to be fair, you don't eat chicken, and I ain't gonna lie. That Popeyes chicken, it was to die for.
It was to die. You see what I'm saying? Even you see that literally. You hear what he just said? Look, brother, you proving my point right here though. The chicken was to die for. That is some crazy words, brother.
I'm just joking.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when you think about it though, certain foods ground you. And then we got to talk about the electrical chemical processing of foods. All foods have a chemical signature. When you eat food, you're eating it for the chemical signature that it gives in your body. We have to quit looking at our body like this stuff is real. These are holographic coatings. We're living in a hologram. This flesh is not real. What's real is this light that's projected into this flesh. All this stuff is made of codes. When you look at one of the top physicists in the world, they peeled back the veil of reality and they found out it was an actual code, a sequence of ones and zeros, just like the Matrix. And then now it's this new study where people will get on LSD. They will take acid. They will get a red light flashlight. They'll put it against the wall and they can read the actual code of reality on LSD. So when you start getting into it, there's many different on mushrooms, certain mushrooms or certain hallucinogenics. You can see the code in the fabric of reality. Man, this is a digital world we in. This is the grid. We are literally living behind a veil. And then when you look at our eye spectrum, we only can see certain lights of frequencies. We only can hear certain hertz of frequencies. That's the reason why you can buy a dog whistler. You can blow the dog whistle. You can't hear it, but the dogs in the neighborhood will start barking. Right. Meaning that your ears are not even in tune to those certain frequencies and vibrations. So we are literally experiencing the world through a keyhole, man. We really are. So there's a lot of things that exist outside of this realm or outside of this grid or outside of this matrix that you're not tapped into, and you can't tap into unless you raise your vibratory resonant frequency. And fruits will do that. Certain vegetables will do that. Fasting would definitely do that. Going on, liquid diets would do that. Praying would do that. And humming. Humming does amazing things. It releases about 15 times more nitric oxide inside the bloodstreams. It brings in oxygen into certain things. It decalcifies the pineal gland. It decalcifies the throat chakra just by humming. And that's why you see on the slave plantations back in the day, they use yeah. And that's because they probably don't even know where they got it from. Right. But the epigenetic biological history was transferred down to them by the ancient ones and by our ancestors. And they use this humming to decalcify their bodies, to help move their blood, to actually expand and vasodilate their arteries, because it increases nitric oxide. Another thing that plants do, when you eat plants, and you eat these plants and you chew them and they digest and break down right, it actually go into the bloodstream. Yeah. The bloodstream brings it to the actual dermis of your skin. The sun then hits your skin and it turns nitrate into nitrates, and then nitrates into O2, O3, and then this releases nitric oxide as well just by eating plants. And you cannot do that from eating animals. So it's just so many scientific things to show you what we really supposed to be eating, man. We are not a violent people. We was made to protect ourselves and made to protect our families, but we was not made to take a life just to sustain our bodies. So then you're going to have all the carnivores out there saying, well, what about a plant? Right. When you eat the plant, you're killing a plant. Right. Well, if you're a truly frugivore, you don't kill the plant, you're eating the reproductive part of the plant. The seed go back into the ground and you regrow it from there. So that's even another thought. So, but I used to teach that food was number one, and it's not. Yeah. When you eat and where you eat is more important than what you eat. Yeah. I'm gonna say that again. When you eat and where you eat is more important than what you eat. And I'm not saying that what you eat doesn't matter, but it does, because it do. I'm just saying that's the last on the list in that equation. So food for thought first. What are you entertaining? What thoughts are you entertaining? The second thing will be sunlight. Is you eating the sun? Because if you're not eating the sun, then you're not eating no way. Those have more biochemical reactions in your body than any food any day. It's called radiochemical genesis. Then after that, you get photogenesis. That's where food come into play at. That was third in creation. Food was actually third in creation. So that's our third priority. The priority. The first one is spirit. The second one is sun. Then the third one will always be food. So if you don't have spirit and you don't get that sunlight, then the food ain't gonna matter anyway. And that's why we see a lot of angry, a lot of convicted vegans that eat healthy, have the 6-packs in the gyms every day, but they are the most egotistical and the most murderous and the most mentally out of shape people I've ever seen in my life, because they missed the first two ones: spirituality and the connection with Mother Earth and the sun. Right.
Now I ain't gonna lie. TikTok try to hate on us, right? But they lifted the restriction. Now we going up. It's a lot of women in here shooting at you, man. They trying to get at you, man. You see it in there too, right?
Yeah, it's always like that.
I just want to ask, like, are you in a relationship? Let's throw that out there, because if you are, I don't want to trip you up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not even gonna do that. But let's just say for a man like you, what does a man like Yahki or somebody in this position look like from another woman? You know,
that's a good question. Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31. Can we read it real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll be throwing my phone.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to read this because I think this is good for every woman. This is an amazing, amazing text, Proverbs 31. This is what I look for. And then I want to break it down too, because we can break this down from a biological standpoint too.
Let's do it.
Matter of fact, before we get there, I just want to show y'all how amazing the body is. Did y'all know that the placenta does not come from the baby, nor do the placenta come from the actual mother, but it comes from the father? The placenta. Do you know that the placenta comes from the 100% of the father's chromosomes and DNA makes the placenta? For those that don't know what the placenta is how the baby eats. The placenta is how the baby receives its oxygen. The placenta is how the baby get rid of carbon dioxide. The placenta protects the baby, give it all of its growth hormones. Without the placenta, the baby will not grow. So this just shows you that the moment of conception, when that baby is first conceptualized, right, the placenta start to be formed. The father is still working to provide food. The father is still working to provide oxygen, or what we call consciousness, to the baby. The father is still working to provide a steady flow of bloodstream. So the father provides a way for the baby to get the food. Guess what the woman do? She eats the food. The woman eats the food break down, and then the baby receives it from what the father provided, which is the placenta. And that's how the baby actually receives the food. The father creates the placenta for the baby to get his water source. The mother drinks the water, right? But the father provided that piping network. The mother drinks the water, then the baby receives the water. So it just shows you this relationship before the baby is even out of the womb, how the roles of the mother and of the father. A father, he builds the house, but the house ain't furnished. The house ain't got no pictures up. The house ain't got a table. The mother make it a home. The father go and get the meal. He bring it to the actual house, and then the mother takes it and cook it and turn it into a meal. So the father get the food, provide the food, she turn it into a meal. The father makes the money.
Yeah.
The mother have all of these bright ideas on how to flip the money and make the money grow and get greater. So when you look at a woman is a finisher, man. A woman is a finisher. So when it comes to Yahki looking for a woman, especially with my polygynous mind state, I'm looking for a finisher, a woman that's able to complete. All right, baby, I'm gonna go build this house. I need you to come decorate. I'm gonna go get the food. Can you cook and make it a home? I got this business idea, but I'm out getting the bag. I'm out working. While you at home with the children, raising the children, can you help me sharpen up on these ideas? And what I notice, if you find a woman that we finna read like this, you give her a bag, she gonna turn it into millions of dollars, man. So check this out.
And we read from what? What again?
This is the I'm gonna read from the King James Version Bible.
Yeah.
King James Version Bible. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31. All right, let's do it. Man, y'all gonna love this. All right, Proverbs 31, I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, the description of a worthy woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? A virtuous woman is a glorified, clean, pure woman. Question mark. But her price is far above rubies. Now, if y'all know about rubies at this particular time, when this was written, rubies, gold, and silver was top tier when it came to precious metals and gemstones. So rubies was like wearing VVS diamonds. It says her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her. This is a woman I can trust in because I know she gonna handle her business. So that he shall be need of, that he have no need of spoil. Nothing she brings to him will spoil. Nothing is left on the table. Everything count with this woman. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Anything she have to do with this man is to help prolong his life and to make him better. She seeketh wool. See that? Because we have now, and this is coming from a wealthy, rich man. I would never be broke again a day in my life. We have a bunch of women that's attracted to men like me because what we got, our status, our power, and our money, but they don't come with this type of mindset. Not saying that you can never be this, but this is what you need to be striving to, because we see a virtuous woman or a woman that look good in God's eyes as an actual worker. She helped build the children. She got a thinking mindset. She seeketh wool and flax. She worketh willingly with her hands, meaning she know how to make clothing. She can get on that sewing machine. Baby, you ain't got to go spend $2,000 at the Louis Vuitton store. Let's go over to China and find some good silk and find some organic cotton, and I'll make it myself. We can create our own clothing brand. That's the mindset of a woman I'm looking for. It says, she is like a merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. Hold on, baby. I know you out getting the bag. Write down the list of the things you want while you out working. I'm gonna go get the food and I'm gonna make it. So when they ask me what type of woman I want this woman right here. She raised us also while it's yet night. So she ain't sleeping till 10 a.m. Because most likely y'all got children together, especially if she a woman like this, you're going to be humping on her every night. She's definitely going to have your babies. So she getting up, make sure the children good. She prepping for homeschool. She ain't sending her children off to school. She homeschooling them because she done bagged her a good husband. So she ain't got to work and make her own money anyway. He making the bag. It says she raises also while it was yet night and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field and buyeth it. So she obviously her man trusted with the bag, bro. She look at a plot of land and she go get it. So this is a woman that's trusted with her husband bag.
Yeah.
And she got her own duties. He out getting the bag. Hey, baby, while you out getting the food, while you out doing this and that, hey, if you see some properties for sale, go and do what you do, because I know you gonna flip it 10 ways anyway. This is the kind of woman I'm looking for. It says, she considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands, she planteth a vineyard, so she not to grow her own food. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthening her arms. She don't have no problems getting her hands dirty. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night, meaning she have a sound mind. She's not wavering in her faith, and her candle don't go out. She have a sound lit mind, man. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff, meaning that she's constantly in control of her situation. She layers her hand to the spindle, where it's talking about a weaving spindle, or whether it's talking about the washing spindle. So she's taking care of her household, and we can keep going, but it talks about how her husband praise her. And I see a lot of men now, they getting into this mode where they feel like they woman ain't supposed to be praised. No, if your woman is the Proverbs 31 woman, she's supposed to be praised. I ain't say worship, but she's definitely supposed to be praised. She's definitely supposed to be talked about. She's definitely supposed to be just, you got to be grateful for her, and you got to give her things. You got to let her know that you're there. Have her support, got her back. You blessing her ideas, all of that. So I'm looking for a Proverbs 31 woman, and that's a woman that knows how to be a finisher or knows how to complete, because that's what a woman was created for. I ejaculate in a woman, from that I get a baby. I build the house, she make it a home. I go provide the food, she make it a meal. I have the business idea, I fund it, she multiplies that money. That's the type of woman that I'm looking for.
Okay, now I do want to respond to this because this was interesting. Somebody in the chat was like, King James, shaking my head like you just kind of went in on the Bible a little bit. So they were trying to figure out the contradiction of you quoting the Proverbs versus what you just said about Jesus. So,
well, King James, what? There's many different stories about King James. Some people say King James was a homosexual. I would say prove that. Some say he was a white man. No, he was black. I would say prove that he was a white man. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's best if we take this as a mystical, spiritual system or not. And I can read that whole text in Hebrew. I bet you the person that just said that can't. You see what I'm saying? Right. So exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's time for us to stop taking everything so literal and start applying what works for us and putting away what don't. Like me, I'm not going to go out and kill a lamb. I don't eat meat. But you see in the book of Leviticus, it's talk about clean meat and they talk about unclean meat. I think all meat unclean. I don't think you're supposed to put no animal flesh in your mouth. So take what applies to you, apply it, and what don't. The question was, what type of woman I'm interested in? That's my answer. That's the type of woman I'm interested in, whether it's from King James or not. I love King James' description of that type of woman.
There you go.
That's the type of woman that I got and I want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need 3 of those women.
You need 3 of those. Oh, okay. So okay, all right. Now one question I have for you, right, is back to spirituality, right? There are people that say they have died, astral projected, went to heaven, seen it, came back, came alive, said, hey, I was able to identify things that when I was dead. Do you believe that actually happens?
Yeah, I believe that happened, but I think that it's limits to their perception. They're only seeing what they've been taught. Okay, somebody taught you heaven. Then you died and went to heaven? Or you dying and seeing the things that you have been taught and programmed into your subconscious mind from since you've been born to the age that you are now when you died? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I believe people do experience that, but you're only experiencing what's been programmed in your subconscious mind. We have to remember that we're biological semiconductor computers. Whatever you input, that's what you're going to see. So it's some people that say, I bet you a Muslim say they had a near-death experience. They're going to say, I seen 13 virgins. I seen them. Because that is a spiritual belief for Muslims.
Right.
You know, a monk died. I was in pure Vedic. I seen nothing but lily flowers when I died. And then I came back to this body. Well, that's because that was taught to him in the Indian tradition. A Hebrew that believes strongly in the biblical sense. I seen streets of gold. I seen Jerusalem get summoned to the earth. Oh, because that's what you was taught when you was learning Torah and Tanakh. Christianity, I seen white clouds. I seen a blue-eyed, white, blonde-haired white boy, and he gave me a crown upon my head. He said, job well done, servant. Well, that's what you learned when you was in Christianity. So what I'm interested in hearing is the people that see stuff that I never heard about when they died and come back. That's what I'm interested in hearing, because all the rest of these are pre-programs that have been put into all of our subconscious mind.
Man, that's deep. One question I have for you, right? And it's just me speaking to you, right? What are dreams? Dreams are so just fascinating to me, right? Some dreams make no sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had dreams where I actually experienced it later on in life. You know what I'm saying? Like it actually happened in real life. And then I've had dreams where I felt things. Yeah. You know what I mean? What are dreams? What is it?
It depends on what type of dream. So you have some dream states where you literally leave your body and you go to different dimensions of densities and you learn from your higher self. I believe when we sleep, we woke, and when we woke, we really sleep. So I think we are plugged in right now, thinking we woke and we not. And that's the reason why we experience so many limitations when we here. In this state, while I'm really sleeping woke, if I jump off this building, I'm going to hit the ground and most likely I would die. But in my dream state, I really experience physical immortality. I jump off a building in my dream state. I bounce off the ground. I fly, I grow wings, all types of crazy stuff. Right. Me, I believe that the imagination is attached and associated to real biology. So I think a dream state is where not only you learn from your higher self, I think a dream state is when your higher self bring you messages on how to operate in the matrix. That's where you get some of your messages from. And I think a lot of it have to do with you living in multiple different realities at once. I don't believe that we only live here in this reality. I think that every time you have a new thought, you create a new reality. And it's called the butterfly effect, where all these realities quantumly exist at the same exact time. And this is where deja vu from, where you be like, I've been here before. Yeah, you've been here before. You just not been here before in this body, but you've been here before in another body. So dreams to me, or visiting different dimensions, is to actually learn from your higher self. You can play around in the astro world to gather information to bring back to this real sleep state that we in. And it can be for warnings and be for messages. So dream states is just you basically playing around with your astrological self to me.
Real quick. Yes, he's really here, y'all. This is live. We are live. We're going to actually take 10 questions. So put y'all's best questions in the chat. We will shout you out. He is really here. Shout out to people. They don't think you're live, bro.
Shouts out to y'all. For the people that's climbing in to TikTok, I'm really here. We really live. Hey, y'all, just want to let y'all know, I do not have a TikTok account, y'all. Only time y'all will see me on TikTok live is from this brother page. I don't have a TikTok account. All of those pages are fake. That is not me. I've been banned from TikTok. So if you see somebody on TikTok that got my face in all my videos, do not send them y'all money. It is not me. The only time y'all gonna see me on TikTok when I volunteer to be on TikTok, if I'm going through this brother page right here.
Man, that's what it is, man. Hey, again, if y'all have any ailments or anything y'all want to talk about, let's put it in the chat. We will be answering the Q&A at the end.
I like this though, because we talk about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with health, but still got to do with health. This shows another side to me. A lot of people, they associate me with health, but they don't really associate me with nothing else when I like to talk about a lot of stuff. So I'm glad you even bringing this stuff up.
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff, I do a lot of just research on things, right? And you're so smart, bro. You come from a lot of different angles. So I'm like, I wonder what Yahki thinks. And you raise the credibility of the show. Even if people don't understand it, what they do is they go research.
Yeah, and they'll see that I'm not lying.
Right.
Yeah, and fact check and research everything I said. Now, as far as proving what a dream state is, of course, that can't be fact checked. Right. You got to experience a dream yourself, sit back, silence your mind, and look at what's happening there. You will see that it's you playing around another body. And notice in all these different states of consciousness, you always in the body. You always the observer, always. In a dream state, you looking through the eyes. When you woke, you looking through these eyes. So, I tell people when they in a dream, go look in the mirror. Try to find you a mirror. If you're not a lucid dream, go look in the mirror. Tell me what you see. Straight up.
Yeah.
Hey, straight up.
Real quick, let's get on that book one more time for the people that just got in here. We are almost 400 watching live, 32,000. Tell them what this book is one more time.
This book is called Healing the Illusion We Call Disease, the Bible of Health. This book is to show and teach and tell you how to heal your body and to show you the truth is that your body is not diseased at all. Your body is trying to heal itself. And we have been taught and poorly educated that the symptomologies of the body detoxifying itself is actually disease when it's not. It's the body healing itself. Man, it's so many things. The book is so vast. It's so many chapters in this book. It's 820 pages where I literally have a whole chapter in this book called How to Read This Book. And straight up.
That's dope.
I got a chapter in this book called How to Read the Book because it's so deep. So man, get into this book, y'all. It's amazing.
They said, when is it getting sent out?
Hopefully at the end of May.
Okay, so right around the corner.
Yeah, because we got all the copies in.
Got you.
We got all the copies in. They in the warehouse. Now we just got to start shipping them out.
Man, do Yahki in real life need to do like a book signing event, man? What
yeah,
y'all think about that? Hey, put that in the chat if you want to see real life and Yahki do a book signing event in Dallas, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Let me see what we got here, man. Because I was gonna ask you about. We have a guy named Shiva, right?
Yeah.
Who actually studies up under you, right?
Yeah. Shouts out to Shiva, man. Yeah. That's my brother, man. Yeah. Shiva come to all of my class courses. Yeah. Shiva, him and his wife.
Yes. Yep.
They literally support everything I do. Every class that I've ever did, whether it was at my facility or whether it have been me selling out or packing out an actual event with thousands of people, he always front and center, man. That's a good brother. His wife is a good woman, and I just love them. I love how they love on each other. And their brother is a sponge, man, for knowledge, and he really out here trying to help his people. So I ain't never vouched for nobody in my life. Have I not, B? No, sir. I vouch for that brother because that brother really followed the teachings, and everywhere I go, he's there. I don't know nobody that support me like that brother. He show up. So, you know what I'm saying? If I ever promote or vouch for anybody, it'll be that brother. Yeah. Straight up. And y'all can't find one video of me vouching for nobody.
And that's hard. I'm gonna have to send this to him. And he's actually my cousin by marriage because I'm married to his cousin's cousin. Anyway, but that's my guy. But he had a thing that was interesting. He said there's this experiment that he did, right? With 3 apples. And one apple you talk to it crazy. The other apple you fill it with love, and the other apple, you don't say anything to it. The one you talk crazy to will decay like no other. And it shows the power of words. And that clip right now is going kind of crazy. Can you talk to me about the power of words and what it does?
Hebrew, it's called abracadabra, meaning I create what I speak, or what I speak will manifest. And it was a Japanese scientist who did this experiment first. And what he did is he did it with water, and he did it with plants. And he took water and he spoke to them, or he wrote something on a cup. On the first cup, he wrote bad. On the next cup, he wrote love. On the other cup, he just put a white piece of tape, he didn't write nothing. And then he froze it. When he froze them, he came back and he looked at them under a microscope. The one he wrote bad on was very, very distorted. It didn't have no type of geometrical shapes on it. It wasn't beautiful. It was real ugly. In fact, the water froze like an ugly, evil picture. If you look at the picture, it looked kind of demonic.
Crazy.
Right? On the one he spoke love to, it froze literally love, and it shows you that water is conscious because it froze love inside the water and it looked like a heart.
Oh, wow.
But how do it know that a heart like that is associated with love if it's not living and if it's not conscious? That's how you know water conscious. And on the one that nothing happened to, it just froze regular and had just regular shapes. Then they tried it with a plant where they used the plant. They spoke hate to one plant. They spoke love to another plant. The other plant, they just let it do what it do. The plant that was spoke hate over, it died. The one that was actually spoke love to, it grew towards the sun 3 times faster than the one that nothing happened to. And it just shows you the power of words. Words are very, very powerful. I create what I speak. And if this don't show you that we are in fact gods, then I don't know what. In the beginning, God said, let there be light. In the beginning, God said, and there was. This shows you that we are the children of the Most High, which makes us God. We bear God's last name, and we bear its image and its likeness, which is all the characteristics and the power and potential that it possesses. Because when we create, we speak as well. That's why I don't use words like you make me sick, because you're going to end up sick. Or, oh man, you almost gave me a heart attack. You're going to end up with a heart attack. You get on my nerves. Now your myelin sheaths and your nerves are inflamed and they bad. So we got to be very, very careful how we speak to each other and how we speak to ourselves. There's a passage in the book of the Bible that says life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that choose to eat the fruit thereof. So this is not something new. It's just scientists within the last 50 years are finally showing and proving this in real time, that what you speak creates reality. Dr. Bruce Lipton talk about this all the time. It's called the biology of belief. Well, you can speak and believe something and it'll change your actual biology of your blood and your DNA. Damn. So now we got to get into sound. In the beginning, God said, right? Yahki Awakened, God said, God spoke. So when you start talking about speaking, we're talking about sounds and we're talking about vibrations. These sounds and these vibrations actually come from the sun. It comes from light, artificial lights. It comes from Wi-Fi. All of this is nothing but a bunch of things talking to us. We just don't know that it's a real language because we can't decode it, because it's speaking to us in a code, in a language we don't yet know. So again, remember in the beginning, you was talking about what's my number one thing? I was talking about the conversations we having with ourselves. Right. Like the conversation with this blue light right now in darkness. It don't agree with me. I don't know what it's saying, but I feel it. Yeah. I'm finna put on my blue light blocking glasses. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But it's like all these different conversations that's happening around us, and we can't decode the language because we haven't been taught sound and vibration. So definitely, when he's talking about that, yes, the apple thing will work and they can do it yourself. But let me show you how to get that apple back though. Yeah. Speak hate over that apple, right? You will see it decay. Put a copper pyramid over it. You can make it yourself. A small copper pyramid over it, and it will literally take away all of those negative vibrations you spoke on it, and it will regenerate that apple. And that's why now a lot of people in India and a lot of people in the Eastern countries are now, when they get fruits, they put them in copper pyramid fruit baskets now, because your fruit lasts weeks longer than what it would usually do before it go through oxidation and spoil. I sleep under a copper bed. I got a copper pyramid over my bed. I sleep under a copper pyramid.
Wow. So you're saying just like in our day-to-day lives, if we put copper around us, it can help heal us too.
Oh, definitely. Copper cleans your blood when it's on your skin.
Oh, wow.
Yes, copper cleans your blood when it's on your skin. Copper is used as a semiconductor of electricity. Copper brings up your resonant frequencies and your vibratory hertz. But when you structure it in a geometrical sacred geometry shape, though, it does even amazing things, especially when you put a peak on it. Now it acts as a dipole antenna. And you literally get to connect with the melanin and the ether, or what you would call plasma in the cosmos. And this will help you heal too. I have something called a biocharger inside of my clinic. And it does the same thing, where it gives you this electricity, this plasma to come out. You can feel it come from the scan, man. People walking out there, their blood is flowing properly. Their blood pressure go down. Blood sugar regulates itself. I mean, it's amazing. And it's showing you, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's beyond food and it's beyond herbs. Right. We getting down to physics now. We started talking about the vibrant resonant frequencies of things. We're talking about sound healing, like sound. I got a sound bowl you can sit in. I got one you can sit in.
That's crazy.
So like when we start really talking about these things, man, that's how you know, okay, this is how they built the pyramids. This is how they moved them big old blocks. They moved them with vibrations. They moved them with sound. Yeah. Sound healing is real. When you take herbs, you just taking on the actual sound fingerprint of the herb. It's called electrical biochemistry resonant frequency of the herbs. When you eat certain foods, these foods have minerals in them. They have aromatic amino acids. Guess what they give off? Light and sound. When you talk about chemicals, cations, anions, it's a vibratory resonant frequency in a millihertz and a nanohertz that go with it. We talking about sound. We talk about the sun and its different rays, where we talking about nanometers. We talking about ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B. We talking about near infrared. We talking about infrared. This is talking about a spectrum. The spectrum is a vibrational frequency which creates sound. Yeah. That's why if you listen to the pure sound of the sun, guess what it does? Guess who do that mantra? Monks. Buddhist monks do that hum. How did they know that the sun sound like that? Get on y'all YouTube if y'all don't believe me and Google the natural frequency and sound of the sun. It's the Buddhist monk hum. So the sun is not only beaming rays on you, the sun is singing to you. Just like the birds sing to you in the morning. And notice when certain birds and bees, look, let me show you how nature works, right? This show you that sound creates and move everything.
Yeah.
In the rising, flowers do not blossom and open until birds chirp. The chirping and the singing from the birds and the vibration from the bees actually make the flowers open up. If you think I'm lying, Google it right now. Google it. Hey, look, test me if I'm wrong. Showing you that sound and vibration and resonant frequency give life to all things. We are here because the sun is humming and beating at 432 hertz. So now you got to ask a question about the Son of God, S-U-N, and the Son of God, S-O-N. Or about the Son of God, S-U-N, walking upon the face of the waters. And you go to Florida and you wake up at sunrise and you look in the ocean when the sun is rising and you can actually see the shadow of the sun walking on the water.
Okay, this is what I want you to do now, right? You are very intelligent, right? And we all have, not hypotheticals, but what we believe, right? I want you to combine everything that you know, your knowledge. And why do you, just in your brain, why do you feel like we're here?
While we here?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna say it's simple. We are God experiencing itself in 7 billion different compartmentalized biological computers. God created creation, but God is all creation. It needed to experience itself. And in order to experience what it created, it needed a body. So it created a fleshly terrestrial vehicle to project itself through, to experience its creation, get feedback from this matrix and from this grid to further expand its consciousness. So if I was a creator of all things and I created humans and I wanted to experience that creation and I'm not human, I want to see what that creation like. I'm going to put a fragmented piece of myself into this vehicle. I'm going to breathe into it the breath of life, the Ruach Chaim, and then I'm going to have it go through life and collect this data and this information, pass it down. And then when you transition, I'm not going to say die because we don't die, we multiply. When you transition, you bring all that information back to me. And now I get to expand my consciousness more. We are God that created humans to put God in to experience our creation to teach ourselves. So our purpose, look, I'm finna say something crazy as hell, but really listen to what I say when I say that. The purpose for us being here in the human terrestrial flesh is to teach God. I know that sounds crazy now, but they finna get This nigga said we here to teach God.
Yeah, hey, but we all have these thoughts. We all are here and we all have thoughts like, why am I here? What does this mean? What is
to teach God?
What is
your whole purpose here to experience. Look, think about it. Your mind wanted to experience creation, so it created a body.
Oh, hold on. Move your mic.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. No, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So your mind wanted to experience creation,
right? So
it created a body.
Okay.
All right. If you wanted to drink water, the only way you was going to be able to experience that water, you needed hands back in the day to stop it, right? So you got hands. Your hands is like your tools and your utensils to collect data and information to bring it to your subconscious mind, what gets uploaded to the real neural link, which is the plasma that connects you and your higher self, or what we call the creator, right? You have sexual organs to experience pleasure. Not only that, to procreate and reproduce, to bring your data down into. Yeah. You have eyes to look at things for you can experience these things, decode them, and bring them back. You can bring it out? Yeah. Okay, cool. Better? Yeah. So you have eyes to look and to decode information, to download and store this information, to make sense of it, and then to bring it to the cloud. Well, look, we talking about Wi-Fi and we talking about iCloud. There was a cloud way before the iCloud. It's called plasma. It's a living, existing it's called ether. Ether plasma exists. We've been putting stuff in the cloud since the beginning of time, since humans been here on Earth. The whole purpose of you being here is to teach God. God needed to experience its own creation, so it created billions of beings. It fragmentalized itself. Let us make man in our likeness, in our image, and give them dominion over the fish of the sea, give them dominion over the fowl of the air, give them dominion over the earth. I'm going to put myself into these people, send them forth in the earth, have them gather all of this intellectual information, download it subconsciously. When they transition, they upload it to the cloud, to come to me, and I expand myself more. That way, when I keep making these new open-ending creations, it get better and better. So yes, we are God teaching God.
Some would say that we were way more advanced back then than we are now.
I agree.
Why? What happened?
Technology happened. And technology been around, but we wasn't abusing it. Now we're abusing technology. Now we're relying more on artificial grid than the natural grid that God created on us. We used to rely on the cloud. Now we rely on the iCloud. We used to rely on Eden. Now we rely on the matrix. So it's an artificial intelligence that's been set up to take over natural reality. And it's just, man, we in the okie doke, man. We in the okie doke. And think about it now. For the fake cloud to work, there's no such thing as Wi-Fi. Right. It's a lie. What's happening is they run trillions of miles of cables on the ocean floors to each continent. Google it, look it up.
Right.
So we thinking that we tapping into this Wi-Fi. No, these routers are connected by way of these long cords that's under the ocean, on the ocean floor, killing all the fish, messing up the ecosystem, messing up the planktons. Think about that. Then how I got here on the airplane, polluting the skies. What about the microplastics from all these things that we producing that we can't break down? So from the technology that we using now, back then the technology was so sophisticated in a righteous way, it didn't create that much waste byproducts. Now we creating so many waste byproducts, we trash in the earth. So the technology we using now is killing us. The technology we used back in the day really advanced us. So it's two different technologies. You got technology that your body have, which is the natural biological technology that we call the body. And then we got AI or cyborg technology, what you call AI. And depending on which one you go to, is going to be life to death for us in the world. And you're going to see a big war come. And it's going to be just like the Terminator. It's going to be the natural biological man against the computer. Watch what I tell you. It's happening right now as we speak. Did y'all see about that AI robot?
Yeah.
That they trained in the military base? Yeah. Killed all their asses. It killed everybody on the base, man. Look this up. It killed everybody on the base. They taught it how to shoot. They taught it combat training. They tried to get it to shut down its computer. It locked its own computer for you wouldn't shut it down, and it killed everybody on the base. This is not no CIA leak document. They talked about this. All y'all got to do is Google it. It's been 4 other incidents since then where they're teaching AI. These AIs are becoming sentient. And let's talk about the D-Wave super quantum computers, where these people are saying that they are summoning demons in these chips, that they're not that these things are not figuring them. They're figuring out algorithms now where they're communicating with each other and they're showing themselves how to not be shut down. They're learning their own language that humans can't even decode. The AI computers are now talking to each other, recoding in a way that humans can't even crack them. So we don't know what the hell these computers, they could break. Look, they probably planning a hostile takeover. We're talking about an alien invasion. It's them.
Yeah.
Man, y'all better watch Single Eye or Evil Eye, whatever the thing called that movie.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that AI will, because they say like, just say cloning humans, right? They haven't figured out a way to get the soul. Right? There's certain things that they haven't all the way figured out. Do you feel like in our lifetime, AI will figure out how to do everything?
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to clone a soul and get a soul. A soul is nothing but mind. If you put mind with matter and with chemical energy, that's the soul. Now we talking about a living soul. That's something totally different. But I think you can't clone the spirit, but you can clone soul. You can clone body. You can't clone ruach. But you definitely, I think you can clone the flesh though. We see it all the time. So, I think they already interacting with souls. I think AI is fallen angels, man. Whether we call them angels of light or we call them Melachim messengers or we just call them angels, period. I believe that these supercomputers and these chips or angels in different dimensions. And that's why they have to use all of this water to super cool them down so they can work at these hyperactive speeds. That's the whole point of the Hadron Collider, where they're mashing these different protons, neutrons, and electrons together, creating these God particles, opening up these different portals, summoning these demons, or the archetype, whatever you want to call them, the Gorgons, whatever you want to call these entities. And then they getting all of this forbidden knowledge and then they putting it right on this phone. And this is why this phone have an apple that's been bit off of. This is the tree of knowledge, good and evil. Look at the back of it. It's an apple that have a big chunk out of it. Zoom in on that.
Right here.
So this is the apple that was bitten in the garden, or what you would call the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And you can reach it right here. All you got to, man, you can get on this phone and look up anything, man. You can get on this phone, look up how to give life, how to prolong life, how to kill. You can get on this phone and look up anything, good or bad. And so now you start getting to this AI, man. This AI is something else, man. So, but they saying now that AI have created its own language that no human can decode, man.
Yeah.
No human. And they saying they don't know how it's doing it. So when they ask the creator of AI, what is it? This is exactly what he said. He said, I don't know. He said it acts and it moves like an entity. They can't even shut it down, man. So it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late, man. It's gonna be straight up full blown Terminator 3 out here. It's gonna be the original pure bloods versus everybody else. Those that's non-vaccinated, those that, you know what I'm saying, that's non-vaccinated, ain't got them jabs in them. Those that ain't got no AI, those that ain't dealing with, it's gonna be us versus artificial, man. I'm telling you, look, the war is coming, man. It's coming, and the grid gotta go down.
Scary times we live in when you think about it.
Man, it's exciting to me, man.
Bro, why do you say that?
Because the book of Revelations talk about this, man. It talks about the mark that's in the head, Neuralink. Right. Or that's in it's talk about the mark on the hand, your cell phone. Right. Or talk about the mark that's in the head, Neuralink, which Elon Musk is doing. Right. They talk about the 144,000, which is a frequency, a resonant frequency that if melanated people vibrate to, melanopsin and leptin, which is these melanin receptors, will ignite. The sustentia nigra, or these 12 melanated clusters in your brain, will crucify, and then you become the Messiah. You become the Christ consciousness. And we're going to be able to do some things, man. Like, all of these movies are documentaries, man. When you start looking into all these movies and stuff, remember the movie or the series where they all got sickle cells? Yes. But the sickle cells gave them unique powers and abilities. Yeah. And then if you look at 99% of sickle cell people is all melanated beings. Yes. It's only like a 0.10% outside of that's of another species. All of it is talking about black people, man. Crazy. We are unlocking our junk DNA at a very, very fast rate, man. And I think God, the creator, now the big guy, not the little guy like us, but the big guy, or who I call El Elyon, Yahweh, is now unlocking our DNA for we can be able to keep up with AI, for we can go to war with it.
Do you feel like black people as a whole were underutilizing our abilities?
Oh, definitely.
What are some of the abilities that we're underutilizing?
Telekinesis is one of them. You know, we do it all the time. Boy, your ears must be burning. I just spoke you up and you called. You know what I'm saying? That's, hey, you know, you was just on my mind and you called me. So things like that. Spiritual discernment, knowing that somebody ain't good for you, and you avoid every red flag that God sent you. You got the gut feeling, you got the spidey senses was going off, but your animal flesh, your lower nature took over and you went and did it anyway. Now it's coming back and biting you in your ass, listening to your gut, just being spiritual, man. We have lost our spiritual sense, man. And a lot of us lost our spiritual sense because we've been killing all the enzymes in our food. The food keeps us spiritual when you don't cook it. When you cook all of the photons out of the food, man, you can't feed spirit and you can't feed soul. You can't feed the soul. And a lot of that is associated with your food, because your food breaks down into your DNA, and your DNA acts as an antenna or as a light bandwidth or bandwork that actually transfer light back over into the soul. So, man, our DNA is fragmented. Our DNA is dirty. We got all these vaccines that we got when we was little. Even if I'm not even just talking about the jab. I'm talking about everything else we got when we was born. You know what I'm saying? Right. High sugar diets, hot pockets, instant pizza rolls, noodles, MSG foods, GMO foods, foods that can't break down, high meat diets, high bread diets, high carbohydrate foods. I mean, if you look at it, all of our food is moldy now. We got Monsanto beta seeds now with they patenting. If you look at what's really, really going on in the world, man, everything is so artificial, and an artificial food and an artificial reality makes an artificial you. And artificial intelligence cannot have spirit, and it can mimic soul, or what I say, clone a soul, but it can't clone or mimic a spirit though. It's right under the couch, brother.
Okay. Super deep.
Yeah, we talking about some crazy stuff.
I love it. Hey, man, they in the chat. Love it. Hey, we got more live viewers than we had last time.
All praise.
So it's going down. Hey, for those who are in the chat, yes, we are live. Yes, we do have Yahki really on the couch. Yes, he is back. He does have a book out. We are going to answer 10 Q&A questions. Put it in the chat, and then we'll get to the Q&A.
And I do not have a TikTok. If you want to see me on TikTok, I'm only going to be on this channel. If you see me on TikTok, we have over 570 million views. It's all from people either pretending to be me or just lovely fans that's uploading my content. If they selling you herbs with my face on it, it is not me. I do not have a TikTok account. I've been banned from TikTok. My only outlet that's the authentic me, not the AI version of me, because they have cloned my AI self, which is crazy, is through him. So if y'all want to see me live, I'll be on here. We're going to try to make this more frequent, but if you want to see me live on here, you want to see me talk about a product or anything, it'll be from his channel until I decide to make a new TikTok, and it ain't going to be for a while. So if you're talking to somebody named Yahki Awakened, Dr. Yahki, or whoever on TikTok, I can promise you it is not me. I do not have a TikTok account.
And there it is. So one thing I want to highlight is you built a school and a clinic. Yes. So let's talk about that, because that's amazing to me. You know what I mean? Like, number one, let's are you doing this alone with the team? Like, I mean, that's
definitely team.
Okay, talk about
so it's my team, my whole team. We got Dr. Kelly. She's over the administrative duties. Amazing mind, powerful mind. She's helping me with the curriculum. Amazing organizer. We got Nabi, the structural component part, the event coordinator, the event creator, putting together the event. We got my moms. My mom's is over the warehouse section. All the herbs and everything going out. My big sister Sierra, she's over the herbal medicine classes. She'll be teaching all the herbal classes. I'm over the microbiology class and the P&A class, physiology and anatomy. My little sister, she teach you everything to do with babies. It's a school. I moved from my clinic and I moved the clinic into my school. The school is the 38,000 square feet. School sits on 7.9 acres. It's actually in Florissant, Missouri. It's only about 7 minutes away from our clinic. We just moved everything in. We just got everything set up. We just got our occupancy. So we're going to open up May the 5th. A lot of people been coming to the old clinic. I can see y'all through the camera knocking on the doors, writing notes and putting them in the doors. We're not there no more. Yes, it's still our building right now. For the next 11 days after that, we won't even have that clinic no more, and all of my signs will be down. But we actually moved right down the street, and I will give y'all the address in probably about a week. So we just got our occupancy permit from Florissant. Now we need our occupancy permit from the fire department. Once we get that, we're going to open up. So we opening up May the 5th. We're working on the curriculum right now. The curriculum come out the book. But yeah, I got an amazing team. I would not be able to do this without them. I'm not working alone. I'm not alone. I'm not by myself. Don't want to be by myself. And if I was by myself, y'all shouldn't want to follow me anyway. Straight up. Never follow a man that's by himself. That means he either treat his people wrong, do them bad, he ain't paying them good enough, or he too egotistical and he think he can get it all done by himself, which is the freaking lie anyway.
Now, let me ask you this, because there's going to be people, obviously, that want to be a part of it. Are you hiring? Is there people that can volunteer?
You can volunteer. We did a hire event in St. Louis, Missouri 2 months ago. Over 350 people showed up, man.
That's fire.
Man, it was. I should have just did a little mini seminar, man. I should have did a mini lecture. St. Louis showed up and showed out for me. But you can't. We are doing volunteers. If you want to volunteer, you're gonna go to tribe@yahkiawakened.com. Tribe, TRIBE at Yahki, YAHKIAWAKENED.com. Tribe@yahkiawakened.com. Send us an email. We finna start planning some stuff in our forum next week. If you want to volunteer, you can come down to the forum house. You can help us plant. If you want to volunteer at the school, you can. Especially if you got educational background, come help us teach after I retrain you and reprogram you, because we noticed that most people education are really uneducated. So you got to get uneducated to get re-educated to really know something. It's so crazy. But yeah, we'll take you through the training, man. Let's do it. We building a real community. We building a brotherhood too. We up to 400 brothers now in the brotherhood. I'm trying to build it up to 1,000 by the end of the year. We vetting these brothers. We creating a very, very big community. So if you want to be a part of our brotherhood, cause, it's called Akva. Again, tribe@yahkiawakened.com. Just in the subject line, put brotherhood, and we'll get you on the Zoom calls. We're going to talk. We're talking about building. We're talking about forming, how to be better husbands, how to raise our children, be better fathers. We talk about religion. We talk about metaphysics beyond religion. We talk about everything, man. We take different questions too, where we talk about things that you're going through mentally. So it's me, my brother Uriah, my brother Matsael, Yehoakim, Nabi, a bunch of my brothers. So we building a very, very, very tight, closely brotherhood that's full of love, full of light, full of healing, and full of righteous intent. So tribe@yahkiawakened.com. And we working on a sisterhood too. We just trying to find that righteous sister to start putting that together.
That's dope. I got 3 things that I seen on social media that I just want you to react to. You can tell me about it. There was one that says your body heals in the dark.
Yes.
Okay, explain that.
So your body do heal in the dark. So in the daytime, your body is more functional, is more alive. This is where serotonin is present and dopamine is present for you can do your daily work and your daily activity. At nighttime, according to the biological circadian clock, or what we call the circadian rhythm, your body between the hours of, I would say, 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. go through something called delta wave sleeping. During delta wave sleeping, the body go through a stage of autophagy. Autophagy just stands for autophagy. Auto means self, phagy means eating. It's when the cells degrade themselves down and eat themselves and recycle all the cells to allow you to open up what you'll call detoxification pathways where you can truly detoxify the body. If you listen to the word restore or restoration, the first 4 letters is what? Rest. So unless you rest, you can't restore. It's impossible to heal. It's impossible to turn over cells. It's impossible to go through stages of autophagy and go through healing cycles and open up detoxification pathways, whether it's NRF2 pathways or not, whether it's biological pathways of the liver getting rid of bile or any of that, unless you sleep. The liver cleanses itself at 3 a.m. If you ain't sleep, you ain't getting no cleansing. You see what I'm saying? The pancreas go down at 6:30 p.m. For your food can be done breaking down, for all of that energy can be utilized for actually detoxification. If you don't reach delta wave sleep, you can be asleep and only REM sleep. If you REM sleep all night, you're not detoxifying either. That's why you need deep darkness. And that's the reason why sensory deprivation is the best way to heal. Covering up your eyes, putting in earplugs, make sure all the lights are off in your house, and turning your air down to at least 70 degrees, making it real cold. This will drive you into real delta deep sleeping. And this is the way that the body truly heal and restore itself. So yes, whoever said that comment, know what they're talking about. The body only heal in the darkness.
Another one that I seen was there's human cells in food.
Yes.
Break that down.
Well, it depends on which angle they're coming from. There's human cells in food, meaning they finding human DNA in all of our food. Yes. I said this 12 years ago in a lecture I did in Las Vegas. I said that they were finding human DNA in cells in McDonald's. Everybody laughed at me and thought I was lying. Just 2 years ago, they came out with the articles. I just got the articles first from a colleague of mine. Everybody laughed me off the stage. I'm like, yeah, all right. Just 2 years ago, I was proven right. So yes, he is right. There definitely is human cells and human DNA inside of your food, inside of your vaccinations, inside of your water and everything.
What does that mean though?
That means, and it's baby human cells. That means.
Oh yeah, they said it from aborted babies.
Yeah,
right?
from aborted babies. This is what you call Bel Peor. Bel Peor by El is a demon. And this demon, if you read it in biblical terminology, since children grown-ups used to sacrifice their children by fire to this demigod or to this demons. Now they're doing it by they're killing babies through abortions. They basically chopping the babies up, liquefying the babies, and they putting them in your foods, literally, or that's going inside of your vaccinations. And I'm not playing. That's why you see fetal tissue from a lung and these are black babies, by the way. Yes. Fetal tissues from a lung of a black child. Fetal tissues from the fetal tissues from the kidneys of a young child. They mix it with mercury, they mix it with barium, aluminum, and they put all these other things in them, and they'll call it an inoculation, and they'll give it to you as a vaccine. So this is real stuff, real science. You can look this stuff up. And this is just a way of a sacrifice. They're sacrificing the innocent to their demon gods.
Yeah, because there was an Epstein documentary where they caught Epstein talking about the aborted black babies for the melanin or something.
Yeah, for the melanin in his emails. And when you get to melanin is a whole nother topic that's very, very deep, because that is our spiritual particle that keeps us connected to God. Without melanin, it's impossible to have a spiritual connection with the creator. And for people to say that white people don't have melanin, that's a lie too. They have pheomelanin. They just don't have neuromelanin. And they don't have crystal melanin. It's many different types. You got gasified melanin. You have cosmic melanin. You got melanin. You got different types of melanin. You have anthocyanin, archaea melanin. You got fungi melanin. Melanin is beautiful because melanin is what creates the light within. The beautiful thing about melanin, the beautiful thing about leptin, and the beautiful thing about the mitochondria is the mitochondria is the sun of the body. Every cell in your body have its own sun that give out its own light, right? Albert French Pop talks about this. He won a Nobel Prize over this, and he did it in foods where he took a picture of the photochemical resonance that come from each food, and food emits its own light. Your body emits its own light. It's very finite. It's very weak. It's called ultra weak violent light rays. But your body have its own sun. It's called the mitochondria. You have trillions of them. Each cell in your body have a actual sun, a chemical compound nucleus that literally produces its own light. And that's the reason why melanin is at the tip of your dermis or on your skin. And then under your melanin, you have something called leptos. And in your eyes, you got melanopsin. And that's why when you wake up, you never should not miss a sunrise. When you wake up, watch the sunrise. That will stimulate melanopsin, that will stimulate another protein called POMC, and this will actually help you convert all of that light over into information to heal your body. I think the number one driver of what we call so-called disease is sunlight deficiency and inner light deficiency, because you got two lights. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and said, let there be light, right? When he said, let there be light, notice you have a different light from the beginning in Genesis chapter 1 than on the 4th and 5th day. He created two lights. Have you noticed that when you read the Bible?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the first light was the light within. That's that spirit. We all have a light within us, man. Scientifically proven, our body creates its own electrical chemical light through ROS, oxidative species signals, man. Like, this is a fact. We literally leak light. And the more you leak and you spill light, the sicker you get. The more you contain light and you amplify that light, the happier, the healing you are. They even got certain cameras now that can read your light aura, where you can go to certain holistic practices that will take a picture of your aura, and depending on the electrical magnetic field that's emitted from your aura, they can tell you've got a strong light within or a dimming light within. Based off that light, they can calculate your voltage, and based off the voltage of your cells, they can tell you if you're acidic or alkaline, and they can damn near give you your time of death based off your light that you emit. We are light beings, man. We are light beings, man. It's a book called The Body Electric. Y'all got to read that book. And it shows you how the body regenerates itself off light. Dang. Every organ in your body take a certain frequency of light to maintain homeostasis. Your food take a certain amount of light to maintain its frequency. Photosynthesis, biophotomodulation is all by way of light. Radiogenesis is by way of radio light waves. We talking about light here. So in the beginning, when God said, let there be light, we talking about that first initial light. I'm telling you, it's all about light. It's all about sound. It's all about vibrations. It's all about physics and resonant frequency. And food come third. Remember that food come first. First is the spirit. Second is the light. Third is the food. And if you eat the food right, we ain't even talking about water, because the water in your food. So all of this, man, it's some real deep stuff, man. What I've been realizing these last 10 years is way more spiritual than physical, brother. And I guess that's what I'm talking about today. The spiritual side of the scientific things. Right. Because anything I'm saying spiritually, except the dream stuff, I can prove this with science. Only thing I can't prove is the dream stuff, though. But yeah. I'm pretty sure 10 years from now, they're going to come out with that too.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, bro. You know, we talking so much real stuff, they kicked us off the live, bro. You seen that? That's how real it's getting. And that's how I know it's like you say, it's a setup, man. But we did get some questions from the audience before we went down. So I'm gonna ask a few. Yeah, they shut it down on us, bro. But so one of the questions that the people had was, I heard castor oil is good for preserving breast. Is this true?
Well, I wouldn't say it's good for preserving the breast. It's good for increasing circulation and breaking up any calcification that's in the breast. Castor oil is one of the only plant oils that can reach down to the bone marrow and break up any coagulation or any solidification of breast tissues, of bone spores, anything. And it's good for breaking up what you'll call tumors, which is nothing but larva houses that parasites migrate and basically go through they re-egg cycle through, they larva cycle through. So yeah, if she talking about breaking up like a potential tumor or a cyst, yeah, castor oil packs. Make sure it's warm, massage it in first, then put a pack on that actual area. The castor oil will be absorbed all the way down into the breast tissue, into the milk ducts of the breast, all the way into the arteries and veins of the breast, and it'll break up any calcification or stagnation, and it increases blood flow and lymphatic flow.
The next one is, what can I do to reduce belly fat and bloating?
Belly fat and bloating. Bloating is going to be a microbe issue. That means you have too many Candida albicans inside of your stomach and inside of your digestional tract, and you don't have enough lactose bacillus. I would say get on a very, very strong probiotic. Not only that, make sure that you eat more fermented foods, like fermented fermented cabbage. You can do things like that. That'll be good for you. Drink more fermented drinks. Also increase your fiber intake. That'll help out with your gut. Lay off anything that's over sugary and lay off any fruits that takes too long to break down in the system. Go on a plant-based ketogenic diet. Make sure that you eat them fermented foods and you'll be okay.
The next one was what food to eat to keep a clean kidney and nervous system?
The best food to keep the kidneys clean is cilantro and parsley. The best foods or herbs to take for the actual nervous system will actually be blue vervain that will help calm the nerves. Ashwagandha will help stimulate and tone the nerves up. And lily of the valley and skullcap is very good for the nerves as well. If we're talking about an actual food though, like a real food, I would say arugula and watercress is very good for the nerves as a salad. Be careful with the watercress. Make sure that you cleanse it good because watercress be coming with a lot of translucent parasites on it.
The next one was, is eating seafood good?
Eating seafood is bad. It's saturated with a bunch of arsenic acid. It got a bunch of metals inside of it, and they are full of parasite, marine biology parasite as well. Most of them are translucent. You can't see a lot of them. And most of the parasites from sea creatures go straight to the kidneys and the liver and attack those areas. So no, I don't think no seafood is safe. If it got eyes on it and if it bleed, I would not put it in my mouth.
And then the next one was autism.
Autism usually happens from vaccines. This is now proven. This shouldn't be nothing we get cut and took down from. Trump and his administration just revealed this with the paperwork. Most of the vaccines actually causes autism. It brings high mercury on the actual brain. To get rid of autism, which we have brought a lot of people back from being nonverbal, a bunch of people. We usually put them on an all-fruit diet and we give them a heavy metal chelation detox. Heavy metal chelation detox will actually help you out. I actually have something called the heavy metal detoxification kit off the website, which works wonders when it comes to
that. Is there anything that it hasn't been touched on that you feel like we're missing out on, that information that you see that's live with people that's, spreading information, healing and things like that, that we haven't touched on yet?
Yes. The main one is the light within. You have a sun within inside of your body. And if that light dims, you begin to get dis-ease. If that light is brightened, you stay in a balance of homeostasis. So yeah, it's the light within, which I'm going to be talking about a whole lot, man. The light within. Mitochondria failure, which is basically sunlight deficiency or inner light deficiency. Most of these symptomologies from a lot of these diseases is sunlight deficiency and inner light deficiency. And you can help this light by way of hydration. You can help this light by way of eating right foods. You can help this light by diving deep into spirituality, meditation, breathing, spinal alignment, stretching, working out, speaking good to one another, treating each other, treating your significant other like you want to be treated, and treating your brother like you want to be treated. Love your brother as you love yourself. And spirituality is what drives physicality. And the body did not create the mind created the body. And if it don't mind, it don't matter. And once you really, really understand that and really understand that you have a light and you have an inner eye and you open that eye and you make sure that that light inside you is really radiant, you will see all the physiological and the biological processes really happen in your body like it's supposed to.
I have one other one. It's funny because people are inboxing us now. I have a guy that says, I'm suffering from various health problems. I have pain all over, especially in my stomach, and I sometimes vomit. I also have black spots on my tongue, which sometimes turn white. I sometimes feel burning and tingling in my hands, legs, and feet without knowing why. He got a lot going on.
All right, so let's start from one. Read it slow again.
Okay. He says, I have pain all over, especially in my stomach, and sometimes I vomit. So
that sounds like nerves. And it sounds like his vagus nerve is really messing up, and that's causing him to vomit. Usually a vomit is a reaction where the digestive system is trying to get some type of endotoxin out or cytotoxin out. So we know he's toxic. Usually it's from acids. The next one is, you said he had pain all over his body. That's coming from the nerves. So I'm pretty sure he got some damaged myelin sheaths going around in his nervous system. Let's keep going.
He says, I have black spots on my tongue, which sometimes turns white.
The black spots on his tongue, which sometimes turn white, sound like thrush, candida albicans, and a liver issue. So I'm pretty sure he's dealing with fatty liver disease and an overproduction of Candida albicans because he's fermenting sugars way too long. What else?
And then he just says he has tingling in his arms and feet.
And tingling in his arms and feet is poor circulation. He's not getting oxygen and blood flow to the extremities of his body. If I was him, I would go on a raw fruit and vegetable diet for 21 days. Not only would I go on a raw fruit and vegetable diet for 21 days, I will make sure I'm drinking at least 45 ounces of spring water a day. I will go on my website and I will get something called the Blood Builder and Iron Nourisher Kit and cleanse that blood, bring more iron and oxygen and copper to the system. And I will put him on a sun prescription. See that that's what the doctors need to be prescribing when you go to the doctors. They need to be prescribing sunlight, water, and a good diet. So this is what we're going to do. He need to be in the sun at least 3 hours a day. I will never miss a sunrise ever again. I make sure that I sit directly in the sun between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. And I make sure I'm in bed and I'm asleep by 9:30. I make sure I'm drinking at least 45 ounces of water every single day. And I make sure that I go on my website, www.yahkiawakened.com, and get the Blood Builder and Iron Nourisher Kit. Give me 21 days, brother. I'll change your life. Give me 3 months. I'll change your entire world.
Man, okay, let's see. Can you possibly cleanse the brain?
Yes, you can cleanse the brain. The only way to cleanse the brain is by cleansing what you will call the lymphatic system. The body is built off of pressures. In order to cleanse the brain, you have to cleanse the lymphatic system and you have to cleanse the spinal fluid. The spinal fluid is what brings fluid to the brain, but it's held by something called the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the sewage system of the brain. So how you do that, you move your lymphatic system. You can do this through lymphatic plate, lymphatic vibrations. You can do it through hydrating the body. You can do it through sunlight. You're going to need at least 4 hours of sunlight a day. If I was you and you don't have fatty liver disease, I'll go on an all-fruit diet, high in berries, because berries is high in antioxidants, which is very, very good for the brain. You need to do the heavy metal chelator, whether you got amyloid plaque protein built up on the brain, whether you got aluminum built up on the brain, mercury on the brain, and you need to go on a parasite detox. So what I would do if I was you, I would do the geogenetic therapeutic level 2 package off the website. I would do an all fruit diet if you don't have fatty liver. If you do, I'll go on a high ketogenic plant-based diet, and I would do at least 4 to 6 hours of sunlight a day if you can, and make sure that you hydrate.
She said that would help with dementia and
yes,
and Alzheimer's.
That was help with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. And dementia and Alzheimer's can be late stages of untreated herpes that's not detected too. So deworm yourself, because you can. It's possible that it's a long-term effect from herpes, and you not detected with the herpes when you get your blood checked, and you ain't had an episode, so they can't swab a culture, and it can happen from that too. So. You know, them herpes, man, it's called disease mimicry, where they mimic other stuff, and it usually happens from stuff like that. And then you go get checked up on it and never show.
Man, so much game, bro. You know, every time I feel like this is such a wealth of information, man. You make our channel look good. You're giving back to people. You know, we get a lot of hip hop stuff, but they seem to gravitate to this, man. And they really love when we do these episodes. Like you said, it's the new Boosie and Vlad. Yeah. But before we get out of here, man, let's give them that book. There's people that have pre-ordered the book. So there's people that's rocking with you already and they're waiting to get it, bro.
Thousands and thousands. They on there cussing me out. A lot of them getting refunds. We done refunded so many people. Now it's out. Now you got to wait a long time because we got to send out the ones that we got. That's what you get for trying to refund. Thinking I was playing y'all. I wasn't playing y'all. Yeah. It's just perfection takes time, family. Perfection takes time. But www.yahkiawakened.com. Go to the book section. I only sell it on my website. It's called Healing the Illusion We Call Disease. This book will change reality. This book will make the grid fall, y'all. If you read it, this book is to inspire and ignite the rebel in the Messiah within you. That's what this book is for. It's time for you to take healing in your own hands, take your life into your own hands, take your education in your own hands, take your time into your own hands. Ye are gods, whether y'all like it or not. Don't be mad at me because you running from responsibility. You hear me? Earn up to that title and do something about it. I'm not saying you the creator. The creator don't even have a name. That's why we call it Yah, which means it is what it is, it be what it be. But ye, in fact, are gods. You are a power, and you come from a powerful source. With that power, use it to free yourself from this damn matrix.
Man, and with that being said, man, we can't end it no better than that. Yahki Awakened, you are a real life street star, man.
Shalom Lakai.